Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. I want to thank everyone for being here today. I want to ask for all guests to please retire outside the council chambers behind the rails. I note that the hour has come and a quorum of this council is present. This city council session of 2026 will now come to order. I want to start off by saying Happy New Year, and I look forward to a very hardworking and productive city council session and year. Before proceeding, I want to ask everyone to please put your cell phones on silent and or vibrate. Feels good to be back in the house of the people. To give our invocation this morning, the chair recognizes my good friend, Bishop Stephen Avenger Sr., Senior Pastor of Greater St. Matthew's Baptist Church. He is here today as guest of Councilmember Kendra Brooks. I will ask all members and guests to please rise.
Let us pray. Lord, we ask for your presence and your guidance for the mayor of this city and this august body as they deliberate today. We pray, God, that you would give them strength to discern the best path for us. Give them the courage to do what's right and fill their hearts with compassion for the residents of the city of Philadelphia. We pray, God, that in the climate that we're in today, that they might work together in harmony, seeking justice and promoting the welfare of our entire city. We pray that their actions reflect your love and they would serve for the greater good. Give them discernment and the presence of your Spirit. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. The chair thanks the bishop for the invocation. Council will now be at ease. The next order of business is the approval of the journal of the meeting of Thursday, December 11th of 2025. The chair recognizes Councilmember Cindy Bass.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the journal of the meeting of Thursday, December 11th, 2025 be approved.
It has been moved and properly seconded that the journal of the meeting of Thursday, December 11, 2025, stand approved. All in favor will indicate by saying aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it, and the journal is approved. The next order of business is request for leave of absence, and the chair recognizes Majority Leader Catherine Gilmore Richardson.
Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of the majority, there are no requests for leave of absence today.
The chair thanks the council member. The chair recognizes Councilmember Brooks.
Thank you, Council President. On behalf of the minority, there are no requests for leave of absence today.
The chair thanks the council member. The chair now recognizes Councilmember Majority Leader Catherine Gilmore Richardson for a motion concerning certain legislative matters that may arise during the course of today's session of council and that were not listed on the calendar circulated prior to today's council session.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that any of the following matters, if considered today, may be added to the agenda for this session of council and as required by law, subsequently published on an amended agenda after the consideration of those matters. Resolutions authorizing hearings, amendments to bills on first reading, the reconsideration of a bill vetoed by or recalled from the mayor, amendments to bills recalled from the mayor, resolutions taking substantive action to be voted on in this session, a motion to withdraw a bill or resolution that is not on the calendar, and a motion placing a bill or resolution on or returning a bill or resolution from the suspension calendar that is not listed on today's calendar. The purpose of this motion is to provide the public with notice concerning possible actions by council that arose too late to be included on the calendar that was published prior to today's session.
It has been moved and properly seconded that the legislative matters stated by Majority Leader Councilmember Catherine Gilmore Richardson may be added to the agenda for today. Should those matters arise during the course of this session of council, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it, and the motion carries. The chair will dispense with the regular order of business to recognize the guests and visitors joining us in chambers this morning. On behalf of all members of City Council, I welcome you to our council session. We appreciate you taking the time to join us as we attend to the legislative matters of our great city. We certainly invite you to come again. I want to take a moment to acknowledge two gentlemen. One is known as a social media advocate and influencer who has been working hard on a variety of different issues to bring the city of Philadelphia together. He goes by the name of Amir Barber, also known as Motivate Youth 215. Come on, Philly, come on, Philly. Let's acknowledge Mr. Motivate 215. Could you please stand? He's also joined by Mr. Ephraim Rivas, also known as E-Matic, the originator. And they are here promoting the viral E-Matic Dance Challenge. We welcome the Philadelphia City Council. This is a dance challenge that has connected people from all different backgrounds, all different neighborhoods, and have unified our city and put our city on a national positive light. Mr. E-Matic, could you please stand? Let's please give him a round of applause. They are here as the guests of Minority Leader Councilmember Kendra Brooks, who I will also acknowledge to offer some remarks.
Thank you, Council President. I just want to say thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to recognize the work that these younger men are doing, connecting generations through dance and culture. I want to thank you guys for taking the time out to come to City Council and just to be a part of civic engagement. It's important that we continue to connect arts, culture, and politics, because this is how we're going to impact young people. So let's continue to go viral. Let's continue to make this happen. And let's go, Philly.
Let's give them a round of applause. I think if I noted correctly, the Ematic Dance Challenge has surpassed 500 million? 500 million streams and likes. Let's give that a round of applause. That's way beyond the city of Philadelphia. And interesting enough, all different cultural backgrounds. And so if you get a chance to observe the dance challenge, please make sure you not only observe it through social media platforms, but also maybe even partake in it yourself. The chair recognizes Councilmember Dr. Nina Ahmad.
Thank you, Council President. In honor of January being the Human Trafficking Prevention Month in the city of Philadelphia, I have a resolution about that today. We have the Salvation Army who are here. The Salvation Army is one of the premier service providers for survivors of human trafficking. And they have very generously put some treats for you on each council member's table. So I just wanted to acknowledge them. I think Reverend Bonnie Carmada is here. If she could just stand. I don't know where there she is. I thank you, and I thank all of those who are in your organization supporting those who are most vulnerable. So thank you very much, Council President.
Thank you very much. At this time, the chair recognizes Councilmember Jeffrey J. Young Jr., who will present a resolution honoring and recognizing Self-Incorporated for its transformative work in addressing homelessness and empowering lives across Philadelphia. With Dr. Sherlana N. Dash and those accompanying her, please join the council member at the podium. Joining Councilmember Young are the following council members: Minority Leader Councilmember Kendra Brooks, Councilmember Jim Harity, Councilwoman Jamie Gautier, and Councilmember Majority Deputy Whip Cindy Bass. The floor is yours, Member Young.
Thank you so much, Council President, and good morning, everyone, and to the listening public. Today, we're here to honor and recognize Self Inc., the largest provider of emergency housing in the city of Philadelphia. And as we embark on the mayor's One Philly initiative to increase 1,000 beds for homelessness in the city, we must honor and recognize the people who are doing the work to ensure that our unhoused population is treated with dignity and ensure that our unhoused population get the services that they need to survive in this city as we face rising costs each and every day here in the city of Philadelphia. So I wanted to take some time out to honor this organization, this Black-owned, led organization that is on the ground fighting the good fight and taking care of our most vulnerable population here in the city of Philadelphia. So with that, I want to honor and recognize Self-Incorporated for its transformative work in addressing homelessness and empowering lives across Philadelphia. And whereas the Council of the City of Philadelphia is pleased and proud to recognize Self Inc., a nonprofit organization dedicated to providing housing, emergency housing, supportive services, and pathways to stability for individuals and families experiencing homelessness. And whereas Self Inc. was established in 1982 by Dr. Sylvester Otley, a visionary leader and advocate whose mission was to eradicate homelessness by meeting people where they are and supporting them with compassion, dignity, and care.
Whereas over the past 4 decades, Self Inc. has grown to become the largest provider of emergency and temporary housing in Philadelphia, serving more than 1,000 individuals daily through its network of shelters, supportive housing programs, and outreach services. And whereas Self Inc. has long been recognized for its commitment to ending homelessness through innovative, trauma-informed program that addresses the underlying causes of housing insecurity and promotes holistic well-being for residents. And
whereas, under the leadership of Board Chairman Reverend Dr. W. Wilson Good Sr. and Chief Executive Officer Dr. Sherlana Dash, Self Inc. continues to expand its impact through the development of permanent supportive housing programs, youth-focused initiatives, and specialized outreach teams, including a newly established outreach program at the Philadelphia International Airport, connecting unsheltered individuals to critical care and housing resources. And whereas through partnerships with the City of Philadelphia, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and numerous community organizations, Self Inc. plays an integral role in advancing the city's effort to provide equitable access to housing, employment, and supportive services for vulnerable populations. And
whereas during National Homeless Awareness Month, the Council of the City of Philadelphia acknowledges the unwavering dedication of Self Inc. staff, leadership, and partners whose work embodies the principles of dignity, compassion, and justice for all Philadelphians. And whereas Self Inc.'s legacy of service, spanning over 40 years, continues to strengthen communities, empower lives, and transform figures through its belief that every person deserves not only a safe place to call home, but also the opportunity to thrive now. Therefore, be it
resolved by the Council of the City of Philadelphia that this esteemed body honors and recognizes Self Incorporated for its transformative leadership, tireless advocacy, and enduring commitment to serving the unhoused and undeserved across our great city.
And be it further resolved that an engrossed copy of this resolution be presented to Self Inc. In grateful acknowledgement of its service and impact with the sincere admiration and appreciation of this legislative body. Thank you so much to Self Inc. for what you do.
The chair recognizes Dr. Dash for remarks, and I would like to acknowledge that Self Inc. Otley House resides in the 2nd Councilmanic District of the City of Philadelphia. The floor is yours, Dr. Dash.
Thank you, Council President. Yes, it does. Otley House is in your district. Thank you. Good morning to Council President Johnson, to council members, distinguished guests, partners, and friends. On behalf of Self Incorporated, I am deeply honored and sincerely grateful to the City Council for this recognition. Self was founded in 1982 by Dr. Sylvester Otley with a clear and compassionate vision to meet people experiencing homelessness where they are and support them with dignity, care, and opportunity. More than 40 years later, that mission continues to guide our work every single day. Today, Self serves more than 1,000 individuals daily across the city of Philadelphia. That number reflects both our capacity and the reality before us. The need is persistent and growing. We house over 700 people every evening in permanent supportive housing and in housing shelters across the city. January is often a time where many of us reset and look ahead. But for those experiencing homelessness, there is no reset button. That is why alignment and action matter. We are proud to stand alongside Mayor Sherrell Parker and this council in advancing the city's commitment to addressing homelessness with urgency and accountability. Just last week, Self was the first provider to step forward under this new initiative with the opening at the Luzerne site, a new 24-hour shelter that will house 100 individuals across the city. At a time when this is desperately needed, SELF stands alongside City Council and the mayor to ensure that the most vulnerable population in our city is served and served well. This is what it looks like when vision and execution are in alignment and come together as one. I want to thank our board chair in his absence, the Reverend Dr. Wilson Good Sr., to the board members that are with us today, to the staff that stayed alongside me and with me, and to everyone in the city who are committed to the compassionate work that we do. We recognize that there are many people that stand alongside us. We do not do this work alone, but we do it with the fellow people that are here with us. We do it with those in the audience and those in this city that have a heart to serve. So as I close, as we expand emergency housing, permanent supportive housing, and youth initiatives, along with outreach, we do so knowing that this moment demands more from all of us, and the choices we make right now shape our future. We accept this honor not as a finish line, but as a responsibility to keep moving, to stay aligned, and to ensure that every Philadelphian has not just a place to sleep, but a reality to thrive. I thank you, and just putting it out to everyone, next Wednesday, the 28th, is the pit count. And for those who don't know what that is, the point-in-time count happens across the country when we have outreach teams, individuals, and volunteers who go out on the street and actually identify the unsheltered in the community. The point-in-time count is so important because it allows us to know who needs services, who needs assistance, and who needs support. So I ask you today, as I leave you, that if you cross someone on the street, please offer them a warm hello and a smile, because everybody on the street is not on the street because they're on drugs. Everybody on the street is not on the street because they have extreme mental health. Some have had life circumstance impact their lives. So if we just offer a bit of humanity, then together we can eradicate homelessness across the city.
And I just want to take a point of personal privilege. I mean, to Dr. Dash's point, there's no face to what homelessness looks like. And I have Mr. Randy here as a participant of Self Inc. And can show you what the face of homelessness in this city really looks like. Mr. Randy.
Hello, everyone. Hello. My full name is Randy Sylvester Felice. February 3rd of 2005, at the age of 59, I found myself homeless, hopeless, had no clue of how I was going to get on my feet, what direction to take. Through the grace of God, I was able to find myself into Outley House. There, with the help of Mr. Mozine, I was suggested to try out Project Homes. Through there, I was able to obtain my forklift certification. Got into Philadelphia Technical School on 19th and Girard. For drywall, framing, and sheetrock finishing. After 2.5 years search, I was able to find full-time employment. That hopelessness that I felt of February the 3rd, 2025, Outley House gave me my hope back. With that, I can see myself getting back on my feet and starting my life over at the age of 60. It's never too late. I thank everybody here, because without this program, I don't know where I would be. I pray for all those that's still out there. And I just want to thank you guys again. Y'all mean so much, and y'all have done so much for me. Thank you.
Council will be at ease. The next order of business is communications. The chair will deliver the messages from the mayor to the chief clerk. Will the chief clerk read the messages from the mayor and any other communications in her possession?
To the President and members of the Council of the City of Philadelphia, I am submitting herewith for the consideration of your honorable body the following proposed. An ordinance amending Section 9-208 of the Philadelphia Code entitled Sidewalk Cafes, Section A-301.1.5 of Title IV, Subcode A, the Philadelphia Administrative Code of Philadelphia Code, entitled Zoning and Use Registration Permits, by removing expired provisions related to outdoor entertainment at sidewalk cafes under certain terms and conditions. And a resolution authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property to execute and deliver to the Philadelphia Redevelopment Authority deeds conveying fee simple title to 2045 South 56th Street, 5123, 5125, 5127, 5129 Baltimore Avenue in the 3rd Councilmatic District of the City of Philadelphia, and further authorizing the Philadelphia Redevelopment Authority to transfer to the Philadelphia Land Bank fee simple title to such properties pursuant to Section 16-405 of the Philadelphia Code. And a resolution authorizing the Philadelphia Land Bank to dispose of 134, 138, and 140 North 58th Street, located in the 4th Councilmatic District in accordance with the terms of Chapter 16-700 of the Philadelphia Code. And a resolution authorizing the Philadelphia Land Bank to dispose of 1403, 1409, 1415, 1428, 1436, 1441 North 17th Street, 1624, 1626 Jefferson Street, located in the 5th Councilmatic District in accordance with the terms of Chapter 16-700 of the Philadelphia Code. And a resolution authorizing the Philadelphia Land Bank to dispose of 1909 North Van Pelt Street, located in the 5th Councilmatic District in accordance with the terms of Chapter 16-700 of the Philadelphia Code. And a resolution authorizing the Philadelphia Land Bank to dispose of 1802 through 4 North Franklin Street, 1803, 1807 through 25 North 8th Street, located in the 5th Councilmatic District in accordance with the terms of Chapter 16-700 of the Philadelphia Code. And a resolution approving the 3rd Amendment to the redevelopment agreement of the Philadelphia Redevelopment Authority for the redevelopment and urban renewal of a portion of the American Street Industrial Corridor Urban Renewal Area designated as Revised Parcel Number 8, Revised Parcel Number 9, Revised Parcel Number 10A, also sometimes identified by house numbers and street addresses for revised parcel number 8 as 1700 through 34 North American Street, for revised parcel number 9 as 1703 through 69 North Bodine Street, including 229 through 33 Cecil B. Moore Avenue, for a parcel number 10A as 1736 through 54 North American Street, and authorizing the redevelopment authority to execute the third amendment to the redevelopment agreement with 1700 North American Street, LLC, and take such action as may be necessary to effectuate the third amendment to the redevelopment agreement. And a resolution authorizing the Philadelphia Land Bank to dispose of 2039 East Fletcher Street located in the 7th Councilmatic District in accordance with the terms of Chapter 16-700 of the Philadelphia Code. Any resolution authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property to execute and deliver to the Philadelphia Redevelopment Authority deeds conveying fee simple title to 2726 North 15th Street in the 8th Councilmatic District of the City of Philadelphia, and further authorizing the Philadelphia Redevelopment Authority to transfer to the Philadelphia Land Bank fee simple title to such properties pursuant to Section 16-405 of the Philadelphia Code. Any resolution authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property to execute and deliver to the Philadelphia Redevelopment Authority deeds conveying fee simple title to 82 East Worcester Street, 46 and 47 East Earlham Street, 32 East Clapier Street, 45, 75 East Ashmead Street, 40 through 42 East Garfield Street, 50 through 58 East Garfield Street, 14 West Seymour Street, 4947 Portico Street, 5208, 5318, 5332, 5322, 5323, 5324, 5331, 5333 Wakefield Street in the 8th Councilmatic District of the City of Philadelphia, and further authorizing the Philadelphia Redevelopment Authority to transfer to the Philadelphia Land Bank fee simple title to such properties pursuant to Section 16-405 of the Philadelphia Code. And to the President and members of the Council of the City of Philadelphia, I am pleased to advise you that on December 17th, 2025, I signed the following bill, which was passed by Council at its session on December 4th, 2025. Bill number 250887-A. And that on December 17th, I signed the following bills, which passed by Council at its session on December 11th, 2025. Bill number 250534, 250573, 250841, 250951, 250952, 250953, 250954, 250981, 251017, 251018, 251019, and 251023. And that on January 7th, 2025, I signed the following bills, which were passed by Council at its session on December 11th, 2025. Bill number 250574, 250606, 250717, 250771-A, 250801, 250805, 250809, 250832, 250839, 250840, 250842, 250846-A, 250847, 250888-A, 250913, 250914, 250920, 250946, 250947, 250982, 250983, 250984, 250985, 250987, 251022-A, and Bill number 251028. And that on January 7th, 2026, I signed the following bills, which were passed by Council at its session on December 4th, 2025. Bill number 250708, 250709, and 250834. And that on January 13th, 2026, I signed the following bill, which was passed by Council at its session on December 8th, 2025. Bill number 250833. And that on January 20th, I signed the following bills, which were passed by Council at its session on December 11th, 2025. Bill number 250646-A, 250651-A, 250950. And that on January 20th, 2026, I signed the following bills, which were passed by Council at its session on December 4th, 2025. Bill number 240304-A and 250607. Bill number 250720 and Bill number 250804-A were returned unsigned. And that pursuant to sections 4-604 and 2-307 of the Philadelphia Home Rule Charter, the City Council, I'm transmitting to the Council the recommendation of the City Planning Commission on the following bills. Bill number 250986, approved. 251067, approved, not approved. 251101, not for approval, and 251102, approved. Council President, there are no further communications in my possession.
Thank you very much. These messages will be printed in the journal. Good job, too, Chief Clerk. The next order, oops, ma'am, go ahead, y'all. It's cool. Thank you. Make it look very easy from up here, but that was a lot of reading and a lot of bills. So, the next order of business is the introduction of bills and resolutions. The chair recognizes Councilmember Dr. Anthony Phillips.
Good morning, Council President, and good morning, colleagues, and good morning to the distinguished Sergeant at Arms. We love him. I have one privilege resolution for introduction today.
Thank you very much. Will the Chief Clerk please read the title of the privilege resolution?
A privileged resolution recognizing January as Cervical Cancer Awareness Month and honoring Angela, the survivor Diva Reese, for her outstanding leadership with the Pennsylvania National Cervical Cancer Coalition, Northwest Philadelphia chapter, and her dedication to cervical cancer awareness and survivor advocacy.
This resolution will be placed on today's final passage calendar. The chair recognizes Majority Leader Councilman Catherine Gilmore Richardson.
Good morning, Council President. Good morning, colleagues. Today I offer one bill, 4 privilege resolutions, 2 of which are on your behalf.
Thank you very much. Will the Chief Clerk please read the title of the bill and resolutions?
An ordinance amending Chapter 19-700 of the Philadelphia Code entitled Finance, Taxes, and Collections to amend excluded transactions to realty transfer tax, all under certain terms and conditions.
This bill will be referred to the appropriate committee.
And a privileged resolution authorizing the Committee on Law and Government to hold a hearing on the process to resolve a tangled title in the city of Philadelphia.
This resolution will be placed on today's final passage calendar.
And a privileged resolution honoring the African American Children's Book Project on the occasion of its 34th annual African American Children's Book Fair.
This resolution will be placed on today's final passage calendar.
And a privileged resolution honoring and congratulating Irv Randolph for his retirement after 31 years of distinguished service to the Philadelphia Tribune and for his lasting contributions to journalism and the city of Philadelphia.
This resolution will be placed on today's final passage calendar.
And a privileged resolution authorizing the Committee on Commerce and Economic Development to hold hearings to assess the City of Philadelphia's workforce development efforts and existing barriers to employment, and to evaluate job creation and workforce development as strategies to eliminate poverty for Philadelphians.
This resolution will be placed on today's final passage calendar. The chair recognizes Councilman Jamie Gautier.
Good morning, Council President. Today I have one non-privileged resolution.
Thank you very much. Will the Chief Clerk please read the title of the resolution?
A non-privileged resolution authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property to execute and deliver to the Philadelphia Redevelopment Authority deeds conveying fee simple title to 2045 South 56th Street, 5123, 5125, 5127, and 5129 Baltimore Avenue in the 3rd Councilmatic District of the City of Philadelphia, and further authorizing the Philadelphia Redevelopment Authority to transfer to the Philadelphia Land Bank fee simple title to such properties pursuant to Section 16-405 of the Philadelphia Code.
This resolution will be placed on the final passage calendar for consideration at our next session of council. The chair recognizes Councilman Isaiah Thomas.
Good morning, Council President. Love your energy today. Good morning to the city of Philadelphia. Good morning, colleagues. I have nothing. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. The chair recognizes Councilman Curtis Jones.
Thank you, Mr. President. I too recognize your energy in this new year. I have one bill and one non-privileged resolution today.
Thank you very much. Will the Chief Clerk please read the title of the bill and resolution?
An ordinance to amend the Philadelphia zoning maps by changing the zoning designations of certain areas of land located within an area bounded by Main Street, Ridge Avenue, the Wissahickon Creek, Kelly Drive, Falls Road, the Schuylkill River, and Dawson Street extended.
This bill will be referred to the appropriate committee.
And a non-privileged resolution authorizing the Philadelphia Land Bank to dispose of 134, 138, 140 North 58th Street, located in the 4th Councilmanic District, in accordance with the terms of Chapter 16-700 of the Philadelphia Code.
This resolution will be placed on the final passage calendar for consideration at our next session of council. Chair recognizes Councilman Ru Landau.
Good morning, Council President,
Morning.
colleagues, and the public. I have one privileged resolution today.
Thank you very much. Will the Chief Clerk please read the title of the privileged resolution?
A privileged resolution recognizing January 28, 2026 as a National Data Privacy Day in the city of Philadelphia.
This resolution will be placed on today's final passage calendar. Chair recognizes Councilmember Ketty Lozada.
Good morning, Council President. Good morning, everyone. I have
Morning.
two non-privileged resolutions today.
Thank you very much. Will the Chief Clerk please read the title of the two non-privileged resolutions?
A non-privileged resolution authorizing the Philadelphia Land Bank to dispose of 2039 East Fletcher Street, located in the 7th Councilmanic District, in accordance with the terms of Chapter 16-700 of the Philadelphia Code.
This resolution will be placed on the final passage calendar for consideration at the next session of council.
And a non-privileged resolution approving the Third Amendment to the redevelopment agreement of the Philadelphia Redevelopment Authority for the redevelopment and urban renewal of a portion of the American Street Industrial Corridor urban renewal area, designated as revised parcel number 8, revised parcel number 9, and revised parcel number 10A. Also sometimes identified by house numbers and street addresses for revised parcel number 8 as 1700 through 34 North American Street, for revised parcel number 9 as 1703 through 69 North Bodine Street, including 229 through 33 Cecil B. Moore Avenue, and for parcel number 10A as 1736 through 54 North American Street, and authorizing the Redevelopment Authority to execute the Third Amendment to the redevelopment agreement with 1700 North American Street, LLC, and to take such action as may be necessary to effectuate the Third Amendment to the redevelopment agreement.
This resolution will be placed on the final passage calendar for consideration at the next session of council. Chair recognizes Councilmember Jeffrey J. Young.
Thank you, Mr. President. Today I offer one bill and 5 non-privileged resolutions.
Thank you very much. Will the Chief Clerk please read the title of the bill and resolutions?
An ordinance providing for the submission to the qualified electors of the City of Philadelphia of an amendment to the educational supplement to the Philadelphia Home Rule Charter relating to the removal of members of the Board of Education by establishing a process by which City Council may remove such members as approved by resolution of the City Council, fixing the date of an election for such purpose, prescribing the form of ballot question to be voted on, and authorizing the appropriate officers to publish notice and to make arrangements for the election.
This bill will be referred to the appropriate committee.
And a non-privileged resolution proposing an amendment to the educational supplement to the Philadelphia Home Rule Charter relating to the removal of the members of the Board of Education by establishing a process by which City Council may remove such members and providing for the submission of the amendments to the electors of Philadelphia.
This bill will be referred to the appropriate committee.
And a non-privileged resolution authorizing the Philadelphia Land Bank to dispose of 1909 North Van Pelt Street, located in the 5th Councilmanic District, in accordance with the terms of Chapter 16-700 of the Philadelphia Code.
This resolution will be placed on the final passage calendar for consideration at the next session of council.
And a non-privileged resolution authorizing the Philadelphia Land Bank to dispose of 1437, 1438, 1539, 1544, 1546, and 1610 Ogden Street, 863 North 15th Street, 841, 845, and 851 North 16th Street, located in the 5th Councilmanic District in accordance with the terms of Chapter 16-700 of the Philadelphia Code.
This resolution will be placed on the final passage calendar for consideration at the next session of council.
And a non-privileged resolution authorizing the Philadelphia Land Bank to dispose of 1802 through 4 North Franklin Street, 1803, 1807 through 25 North 8th Street, located in the 5th Councilmanic District in accordance with the terms of Chapter 16-700 of the Philadelphia Code.
This resolution will be placed on the final passage calendar for consideration at our next session of council.
And a non-privileged resolution authorizing the Philadelphia Land Bank to dispose of 1403, 1409, 1415, 1428, 1436, and 1441 North 17th Street, 1624 and 1626 Jefferson Street, located in the 5th Councilmanic District in accordance with the terms of Chapter 16-700 of the Philadelphia Code.
This resolution will be placed on the final passage calendar for consideration at our next session of council. The chair recognizes Minority Leader Councilmember Kendra Brooks.
Yes, I have one privileged resolution to introduce.
Thank you very much. Will the Chief Clerk please read the title of the privileged resolution?
A privileged resolution recognizing January 22nd as the anniversary of the Supreme Court's landmark decision in Roe v. Wade.
This resolution will be placed on today's final passage calendar. Chair recognizes Councilmember Jim Harity.
Good afternoon, Council President, colleagues. I have one bill today.
Thank you very much. Will the Chief Clerk please read the title of the bill?
An ordinance creating Title IX, Chapter 6700 of the Philadelphia Code to create licensure for certified glass and metal technicians, all under certain terms and conditions.
This bill will be referred to the appropriate committee. Chair recognizes Councilmember Nicholas O'Rourke.
Good morning, Mr. President. Good morning, Philadelphians all. I have no resolutions or bills to introduce today.
Thank you very much. Chair recognizes Councilmember Mike Driscoll.
Morning, Mr. President. No bills or resolutions today.
Thank you very much. Chair recognizes Councilmember O'Neill.
Thank you, Mr. President. No bills or resolutions.
Thank you very much. Chair recognizes Councilman Mark Squilla.
Thank you, Mr. President. I offer two bills, two non-privileged resolutions, one on your behalf.
Thank you very much. Will the Chief Clerk please read the title of the bills and resolutions?
An ordinance authorizing the installation, ownership, and maintenance of various encroachments along the 300 block of South Broad Street, Philadelphia, PA 19102, under certain terms and conditions.
This bill will be referred to the appropriate committee.
An ordinance amending Section 12-701 of the Philadelphia Code entitled Designation of Bicycle Lanes to authorize a bicycle lane and removal of parking on Columbia Avenue under certain terms and conditions.
This bill will be referred to the appropriate committee.
And a non-privileged resolution expressing the city's priorities for the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation's 95 Revive project from Center City to South Philadelphia.
This resolution will be placed on the final passage calendar for consideration at the next session of council.
And a privileged resolution honoring Father Joseph J. Kelly by renaming the 2400 block of, this is non-privileged. And a non-privileged resolution honoring Father Joseph J. Kelly by renaming the 2400 block of South 17th Street as Father Joseph Kelly Way in recognition of his dedicated pastoral leadership at St. Monica Parish and his longstanding service to the South Philadelphia community.
This resolution will be placed on the final passage calendar for consideration at our next session of council. Chair recognizes Councilmember Cindy Bass.
Thank you, Mr. President. I offer three privileged resolutions, two on your behalf and one non-privileged resolution.
Thank you very much. Will the Chief Clerk please read the title of the resolutions?
A privileged resolution honoring and recognizing Austin J. McGreal, Esquire, for his over 40 years of legal service and dedication to the City of Philadelphia through his tenure as General Counsel of the Philadelphia Municipal Authority.
This resolution will be placed on today's final passage calendar.
And a privileged resolution honoring Pushing Progress Philly, P3, and its outstanding leadership and staff for their unwavering commitment to youth gun violence prevention, strengthening families, and building safer, healthier communities in the City of Philadelphia.
This resolution will be placed on today's final passage calendar.
And a privileged resolution honoring and commending Endangered Kind, its founder and executive director, John Solomon, and its leadership team, Nakeem Higgins, Jaleel Martin, Gary Hill, and Eric Knight Lane, for their commitment to fighting youth gun violence and their profound grassroots leadership uplifting vulnerable young men, families, and communities throughout the City of Philadelphia.
This resolution will be placed on today's final passage calendar.
And a non-privileged resolution authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property to execute and deliver to the Philadelphia Redevelopment Authority deeds conveying fee simple title to 2726 North 15th Street in the 8th Councilmanic District of the City of Philadelphia, and further authorizing the Philadelphia Redevelopment Authority to transfer to the Philadelphia Land Bank fee simple title to such properties pursuant to Section 16-405 of the Philadelphia Code.
This resolution will be placed on the final passage calendar for consideration at our next session of council. The chair recognizes Councilmember Dr. Nina Mai.
Thank you, Council President. I offer two privileged resolutions, one non-privileged resolution, and one bill.
Thank you very much. Will the Chief Clerk please read the title of the bill and resolutions?
An ordinance proposing an amendment to the Philadelphia Home Rule Charter, providing for the creation of the Community Child Welfare Commission, and providing for the submission of the proposed amendment to the electors of Philadelphia.
This bill will be referred to the appropriate committee.
And and a non-privileged resolution providing for the submission to the qualified electors of the City of Philadelphia of the proposal set forth in a resolution approved by council proposing an amendment to the Philadelphia Home Rule Charter relating to the creation of the Community Child Welfare Commission and authorizing and directing the appropriate officers to publish notice and to make arrangements for the special election.
This bill will be referred to the appropriate committee.
And a privileged resolution authorizing the Committee of Public Health and Human Services to hold hearings examining the current state of Philadelphia's reproductive health care system, the current federal landscape affecting reproductive policy, and the city's response to protect reproductive freedom.
This resolution will be placed on today's final passage calendar. Council will be at ease.
And a privileged resolution recognizing January 2026 as Human Trafficking Prevention Month in the City of Philadelphia.
This resolution will be placed on today's final passage calendar. There being no reports from committees today, the next order of business is the consideration of the calendar. The chair recognizes Majority Leader Councilman Catherine Gilmore Richardson for a motion concerning the bills and resolutions on the second reading and final passage calendars.
Thank you, Mr. President. The following bills and resolutions are being called up from the second reading and final passage calendars today. Numbers 250303, 250768, 250986, 250990, 251027, and 251065. The following bills and resolutions on the calendar are being held: 241070, 251056, 250807, 250843, and 251025.
Thank you. Before considering these bills and resolutions, we will consider public comment as follows. Your public comment must concern matters on the second reading and final passage calendars for possible action at today's council session. All speakers must sign up in order to testify. If you have not already signed up for today's session, please do so now by giving your name to Ms. Hassan at the table outside the rails to my left. Once you have signed up, you will be called in the order in which your name appears on the sign-up sheet. Under ideal circumstances, public commenters each will have 3 minutes to speak. However, this time limit may vary from council session to council session. Today, due to the repetition of the actual public comment calendar, the time limit will be 2 minutes. In order to be fair to all those wishing to speak, I intend to hold faithfully to the 2-minute limit. When you begin speaking, you will see a green light on the podium. When there are 30 seconds remaining to your time, the light will turn yellow, which is your reminder to please conclude your remarks. Once 2 minutes have passed, the lights will turn red, and the sergeant at arms will disconnect the microphone. Please don't give him a hard time, he's just doing his job. At that point, please yield the podium to the next speaker if you have not done so already. I also reserve the right pursuant to our rules of City Council to limit repetitious comments on the same subject matter. I will now ask the Chief Clerk to please read the name of our first speaker.
May we have Stephen Roots, Maritza Padua, Lloyd Baston, Kate Perez, Mike Ewall, and Kim Bradford please come to the podium. Stefan Roots, Maritza Padua, Lloyd Baston, Kate Perez, Mike Ewall, and Kim Bradford please come to the podium.
Good morning. My name is Stefan Roots, Mayor of the City of Chester, Pennsylvania, here seeking support for the passage of the Stop Trashing Our Air Act. I am the first mayor fighting environmental justice in the city of Chester. I was born in '61, graduated in '78 from high school, played in the streets of Chester, and none of my playmates had asthma. Fast forward to 2006, I was at a school celebrating a new book for students, wrote by and sponsored by Keystone First and the students. The topics was centered around childhood asthma. On that day, I learned that 80% of the students had asthma. What changed in Chester between my time as a child and theirs? Chester's been a dumping ground for polluting industries for decades. When I was a child growing up in the '60s, Delaware River had this oil sheen, and my dad said, "That's why you see a rainbow." I marveled at that. My parents' bedroom, I would go in there crying because outside my bedroom window, the sky looked like it was on fire. That was the refineries on low cloud days, making me scared that the whole city was going to go on fire. In '78, a rubber reclaiming factory known as Wade Dump Site sat across the street from the stadium the Philadelphia Union plays. And it's now become, it then became the third Superfund site in the city. Here's my point. Thanks to the efforts of the EPA, DEP, pollution in Chester is greatly reduced since my childhood. But my childhood started 65 years ago. 35 years ago, a new polluter came to town, and the impact of the trash incinerator, while there's been great reductions in other pollution, has been devastating to the lives in Chester. You may be surprised to know that my environmental work started in the city of Philadelphia. When I graduated from Villanova, my first job was at PGW. I was responsible for lowering pollution in Philly. I was responsible for converting schools from coal to gas. Today, Chester City Council, my work that started in Philadelphia reducing pollution in the city has taken place right here in my city, the city of Chester. And today you're facing, council, your own Jeff Brown moment. When he was asked in the last mayor's debate what he thinks about sending Philly trash to Chester, he said he didn't care about Chester. And if he ever had a chance to become mayor of Philadelphia, he lost it in that moment. The moderator thought his reaction was shocking, and Mayor Parker had a few choice words for him too. Unless she's changed her position since then, I'm certain she still finds the idea of sending Philly trash to Chester disgusting. I invited Philadelphia's leaders to Chester to see the decades of damage the incinerator has done to our city residents. Councilwoman Gauthier answered the call, and after taking the toxic tour of Chester, before she stepped on the van to come back to Philly, she promised she'd do something about it. Today is that day. This Stop Trashing Our Air Act is what she did, and we're counting on all of you to support it. When I was let's just go right to where it matters. In Chester, Delaware County, they own the incinerator, not the city of Chester. It burns 3 times more trash than Delaware County needs, but they put it in the city of Chester. The other third comes from Philadelphia, the other third from New York. Listen closely. 90% of the trash that's burned in Chester is generated from outside of Chester. What we get in return is sick people, a devalued riverfront, and no mayor willing to fight this battle from Chester until I came. 7 million pounds of trash. 7 million pounds of trash is burned in the city of Chester every day in an area no bigger than the Councilmatic district you guys serve. I'm the first man to challenge Delaware County. The new government leaders in that county listened to me. They agreed to send their trash elsewhere over the next 5 years. Now I'm stepping to Philly. I'm asking and begging you to do the same. This is your Jeff Brown moment. Here's your chance to be brotherly and show you care about our neighbors. I invite you to join the fight for Chester. When you go to bed tonight knowing that your yes vote today eliminates future childhood asthma in Chester, isn't it all worth it? Vote yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mayor Roots. For the record, to all those assembled, we have a number of witnesses. We will keep to a 2-minute limit. When you hear the bell, I ask that you conclude your remarks. We want to hear from each and every one of you here, but we will not be able to do that if you do not keep to 2 minutes. Thank you very much.
Good morning and buenos dias. My name is Joana Otero Cruz, and I'm the Executive Director and President of Women Against Abuse, Philadelphia's comprehensive domestic violence service provider. Thank you to City Council for recognizing January as Human Trafficking Awareness Month and for the opportunity to speak in strong support of Councilmember Ahmad's bill number 250990. Human trafficking is closely connected to domestic violence, one of its most significant risk factors. Survivors often face isolation, housing instability, and financial insecurity conditions traffickers exploit. Trafficking frequently begins not with a stranger, but with someone the victim knows and trusts. As the operator of Philadelphia's only domestic violence emergency shelters, Women Against Abuse sees this reality each and every day. Among survivors fleeing violent homes, young people who run away to escape abuse, and individuals who lack the access to stable employment and legal protections. When systems fail to intervene early to provide meaningful support, survivors are left vulnerable to further exploitation. We wholeheartedly support Bill number 250990 because it advances safety, stability, and dignity for survivors. By preventing workplace discrimination based on a person's status as a victim of human trafficking, this legislation removes a major barrier to economic independence, one of the strongest protections against both abuse and human trafficking. Survivors deserve healing, not punishment. They deserve welcoming places, not stigma, and they deserve the opportunity to rebuild and thrive. As we recognize Human Trafficking Awareness Month, I urge Council to pass Bill number 250990. What a better way to mark this month than by making concrete action to address this crime and make Philadelphia safer and to our most vulnerable neighbors. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Lloyd Baston, a resident of the Francisville area of Philadelphia and a professor of chemistry and sustainability at Widener University in Chester, Pennsylvania. I'm here to strongly support the Stop Trashing Our Air Act. Incineration of trash is an outdated technology that emits multiple pollutants into our air. Air pollutants, particularly particulate matter, ozone, and nitrogen oxides, are strongly linked to asthma, cancer, and other adverse health conditions. The impact of these air pollutants increases dramatically when a community has multiple polluting facilities. Chester suffers from the pollution of nearby oil refineries and power plants, in addition to 7 facilities located along Chester's 1 square mile waterfront. These facilities include the largest incinerator in the country. The cumulative and additive impacts of these industries create serious air quality issues in Chester, and the placement of these facilities in a predominantly black neighborhood was deliberate and is a textbook example of environmental racism. ReWorld Chester is the largest contributor to air pollution in Chester and operates in violation of the Clean Air Act. For example, according to ReWorld's own stats, they produce 14% of Delaware County's nitrogen oxide emissions. As a result of the cumulative air pollution in Chester, Chester's asthma rates are twice the Pennsylvania state level, and pediatric asthma is more than 4 times the national average. ReWorld lacks continuous monitoring of most chemicals of concern, and consequently, we don't know what's in Chester's air from hour to hour. Because of that, and because Philadelphia is downwind of Chester, we do not know what is in Philadelphia's air. And we must improve the air quality in Chester and Philadelphia, and I urge City Council to stop sending our trash to Philadelphia, Philadelphia's trash to Chester, or any other incinerator. Thank you.
We have Kate Perez, Mike Ewell, Kim Bradford, May Jasmine, Bahamandi, Alex Piscatelli, Ramona Jones, Alyssa Wilds, and Dawn Pierce please make their way to the podium.
I'm Kate Perez, and when I see the city moving money, I think about how much more the state should be able to give us. When you had your Christmas dinners, did you think about how our sister city has been enforcing a blockade since March, torturing an entire population and forcing them into famine? With our SEPTA deficit, I can't imagine why the state treasurer would invest more money into war bonds that will continue to decrease in value as more and more countries distance themselves from Israel. Gaza is about the same size as Philadelphia with double the people. Imagine if Israel used a tank to destroy our oldest church. Drones striked every single hospital, every high school, every college, every daycare targeted and flattened. Imagine more than 90% of our population living on the street, with babies freezing to death overnight, now an almost daily headline. When I ask my friends how they are, it's 7 people sharing 1 blanket, too cold to move your hands, and the warplanes never left, giving everyone constant migraines and more strikes. The IOF has committed at least 1,298 ceasefire violations since October 10th, killing 480 human beings, at least 169 children, with 428 documented direct shootings, 66 incursions by armored vehicles, 604 artillery strikes on populated civilian areas, like just yesterday when the IOF killed 11 people while targeting 3 journalists. The newlywed Abdul Rauf Samir Sha'at, his mother's only son, Anas Naim, and Mohammed Salah Kashta, whose wife and children were abroad when he was assassinated. As a city hosting their #1 weapons supplier on Spring Garden, we know that this level of destruction would not be possible without our complicity and our efforts to normalize apartheid through our sister city partnership. This ever-claiming death toll does not include people crushed by crumbling infrastructure, lack of access, lack of medical supplies, or wiped away in icy storms. We can cut off this relationship, and I can't come back here for a while, but I want you to leave you with Basan Odwa's words. Getting used to a genocide is the quickest way to ensure its completion. Arms embargo now. Free Palestine.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mike Ewall. I'm the founder and executive director of a national organization called Energy Justice Network based here in Philadelphia, and I'm here to speak in favor of the Stop Trashing Our Air Act 250768. I'm a member of Councilmember Lozada's district and been working and leading the work to get this bill to this point since 2021. I'm glad to see it get this far. Around Philadelphia, we have the worst cluster of trash incinerators in the nation. There are 5 of them surrounding the city, and whichever way the wind is blowing, we're breathing someone's trash, often our own. All 5 of these incinerators are among the top 7 industrial air polluters in the 7-county Philadelphia area of the city and all the counties that touch it. And this is directly related to the fact that our region is the #4 asthma capital in the whole country, and #2 of the top 10 big cities in the country in cancer incidence, something that's impacted folks in my home and almost every neighbor on my block that I know. The incinerators that we use, particularly the one in Chester, is documented to cause 23 times more harm to public health than the landfills that would be used instead, which is why we're supporting this bill. We don't like landfills, but we know that burning trash and landfilling toxic ash is 23 times worse for public health. We know that there are some council members that are thinking, oh, well, what do the unions have to say? What about the jobs? We've studied this. I'm in all of your inboxes with information on this in the past few days. And we've documented that there are more jobs from landfills, and there are more Philadelphia-based union jobs if we pass this bill, because the alternative means going from a non-union transfer station to a Teamsters organized transfer station here in the city, and ultimately to a landfill that is also being unionized. So please support this bill. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good morning, Council. My name is Kim Bradford. I have been a proud resident of the City of Philadelphia, District 4 for 8 years, residing in the Wynwood neighborhood. I am the Pennsylvania Environmental Manager for ReWorld. The Chester facility is a sustainable solutions facility that helps a wide range of municipal, commercial, industrial clients recover, recycle, and reimagine waste. ReWorld also operates sustainable waste management facilities throughout the United States and Canada, co-located in urban, suburban, and rural areas, converting waste into renewable energy. In fact, countries such as Germany, the Netherlands, and Sweden have all enacted legislation to minimize the use of landfills as a waste management option. These countries, the United Nations and the US EPA, all recognize waste energy as superior to landfills, which is the third largest cause of methane, the climate-damaging greenhouse gas. Like nearly all waste management processes, the Chester facility has air emissions. Unlike landfills, these emissions are strictly regulated in accordance with permits issued by PAYDEP. It is my job to work very closely with the facility to ensure that the facility complies with these requirements. Our emissions are up to 99% below the permitted levels. Our share of emissions within the county airshed is very small. We represent just 1% of the fine particulate emissions in the county and 1/10 of 1% of the volatile organic compound emissions. The primary source of pollution in this area is mobile, such as cars and trucks. A human health risk assessment completed by an independent third party last year in accordance to the EPA protocols demonstrated that the operations at the facility is protective of human health. Consistent with our EJ policy, ReWorld seeks to engage in two-way communication with our communities in which we operate. As a matter of fact, through this communication, we have embarked on 4 major projects to improve our environmental performance. We acknowledge that our facility is located inside a community that has long bear the burden disproportionate to the environment, and we are working every day to make ourselves a better community member. Thank you for allowing me to speak on today. Thank you.
Good morning, and thank you everyone for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Jasmine Balmonte, and I'm the HR manager at ReWorld in Chester, and also a lifelong resident of Philadelphia. As a Latina who grew up in this region, I take true pride in working in a company that's not only committed to sustainability, but also the people who make our community thrive. ReWorld is a sustainable solutions company focused on helping cities and businesses manage resources as well as reduce waste and protect our environment. But for us, sustainability goes beyond environmental goals. It's also about creating sustainable opportunities for people. When I joined ReWorld in February of 2023, only a few employees lived locally in the Chester area. Through intentional hiring practices, community partnerships, and a strong commitment to equity and inclusion, we've increased that number to 26 City of Chester employees and growing. Those individuals bring invaluable perspective, pride, and representation to our workforce. As team members move on or retire, we remain intentional about filling those roles with talent from Chester and within the 10-mile radius. Our outreach to technical trade schools and the Chester Upland School districts reflect our continued dedication to creating meaningful, community-based employment opportunities. This focus on local hiring strengthens our local impact. It's about more than filling positions for me. It's about opening doors to meaningful, long-lasting careers. Thank you for your time.
We have Alice Piscatelli, Ramona Jones, Alyssa Wilds, Dawn Pierce, Matt Toomey, Shari Hirsch, Jeremy Bladstein, and Queen Judith Robinson also make their way to the podium.
Good morning. My name is Alessandro Piscatelli, and I am the facility manager at the ReWorld Delaware Valley facility. I've been with ReWorld for 36 years, and for 18 of those years, I've proudly served the Delaware Valley facility in Chester, Pennsylvania. My entire career has been rooted in facility operations, starting as a crane operator and eventually becoming a regional operations manager. So I've seen firsthand how our industry has evolved and improved. The Delaware facility was designed and constructed and operated under the strict requirements of the Clean Air Act, a federal law that created to protect human health by ensuring that air pollution remains levels that are safe for people as well as the environment. The facts are clear. Our facility has consistently operated 60 to 90% below those standards. While no facility is perfect over decades of operations, our performance has been strong and we continue to improve air pollution control technologies as it advances. Because of this, claims that the Delaware Valley facility has caused human health issues are simply not supported by the data. I understand that when people don't feel well, they look for causes, and that concerns respect. What I can't speak on are the facts. Our emissions continuously monitored. They have been operated well below federal limits. Those limits are set specifically to protect human health. If those were any indications of our emissions were causing any harm, regulators would have intervened. The Clean Air Act framework is designed to safely, the Clean Air Act framework is designed so that safety isn't just based on a company. It is an independent oversight. The key point being our emission data isn't ours. It is regulated, audited, and verified by the state and federal agencies. We report them continuously, and they have the authority to act if we don't meet those standards. Community concerns matter, and if people deserve answers. What I'm saying is that scientific and regulatory data do not show the link between our facility and health issues. We are committed to listening, sharing information, and continuing to improve. This isn't about dismissing concern. It's about grounding the conversation in facts. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Ramona, and I'm the Facility Administrative Assistant at ReWorld in Chester, where I was born, raised, currently reside. I retired from childcare after 30 years because I was tired of the 40-minute commute to outside of Chester and back and forth. I wanted to be more easily accessible to my children who are in school, my older child and her children, as well as my father, my mother, and other family members that reside in Chester. ReWorld has given me the opportunity to work locally and be close to home. I no longer have a necessity to rely on government assistance because of being able to earn a livable wage, a higher wage, by working at ReWorld. I can be actively present and involved with my children's school and extracurricular activities without feeling exhausted from a long commute. I've had the privilege of working at ReWorld for the past year and a half. And as the administrative assistant, I work closely with our facility team and community relations to be present, to be transparent, and be committed to supporting the families of Chester. I am able to witness numerous heartfelt accolades of appreciation when ReWorld shows up to participate and sponsor the City of Chester events, whether it's a cleanup, a festival, or making donations individually or to groups or organizations. We are present throughout the year within the city. It means a great deal to me to be a part of an organization that generally invests in the place I call home. Thank you.
Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Alyssa Wilds. I am the Senior Director of Corporate and Community Relations at ReWorld, leading a team of professionals whose sole purpose is partnering with residents and keeping them engaged and informed. I pride myself on the collaborative work being done in our host cities, creating partnerships and service plans based on the individualized needs and wants of each community as expressed by our key stakeholders. I too was born and raised in Camden, New Jersey, another one of ReWorld's host cities. While I will never contend with the lived experience of those who testified before me, my lived experiences are far different. Camden was my home for the first 30 years of my life and for my mother's full 82.5 years. There are no persistent illnesses in my family, and the relationship with ReWorld has not been combative or dismissive. My mother is 4 blocks away from our current facility in Camden, and she is a vibrant elder. The relationship with the facility, even prior to my employment nearly 5 years ago, has been collaborative and transparent. The two-way communication, open-door policies have allowed our curiosities to be quelled, our questions to be answered, and our concerns put to rest. Once an employee, my experiences at home allowed me to seamlessly recreate the same around the country, granting residents in all of our host communities across the country the exact experiences that both my mother and I have had. With that and many more things, I ask that you vote no to Bill 2507768. Thank you.
My name is Dawn Pierce, member of 1PA. Thank you for having me here. I stand in support of Bill 2507768, the Stop Trashing Our Air Act. I am a mother, a grandmother, and a lifelong resident of Chester, Pennsylvania. I stand before you not as a statistic, but as a Black woman who has lived the consequences of environmental racism, decisions made without our voices. When the incinerator came to Chester, I was married, a young, vibrant, healthy mother with a toddler. I had no asthma, no allergies, no breathing problems. After my second child was born, I suffered a sudden breathing emergency that sent me to Crozer Chester Medical Center. That was when I was diagnosed with asthma. From that moment on, my life changed. I lived with the worsening respiratory illness, nebulizers, repeated steroid treatments, and fear. Doctors told me to stay indoors, to keep my windows closed at home and in my car, and to avoid being outside. Imagine being told that the very air meant to give you life could make you sick. This is not just my story. I have watched family members, neighbors, loved ones suffer from asthma, lung cancer, my father died, heart disease, strokes, and liver illness. These are not coincidences. These are patterns created when toxic facilities are placed in communities like mine. We love our children just as deeply as any family anywhere else. We want them to play outside. We want them to walk the streets without fear. We want them to have air that is truly clean. I ask you today with urgency and compassion to see us, hear us, and protect us, because if this were happening to your family, you would demand action. We're not asking for special treatment. We're asking for justice. We're asking for the basic human right to breathe. Please stand with Chester, Philadelphia, and the surrounding areas. Pass the Stop Trashing Our Act bill.
Good morning, Council President and members of City Council. My name is Matt Toomey, and I represent the operating engineers whose members work at this re-rolled facility there in Chester. I'm here this morning to oppose the bill that would remove a company I represent from participating in the current bid process. At stake are up to 120 family-sustaining jobs. These aren't temporary jobs, these are careers. Professional careers that support families, provide health care, pensions, and stability. A significant amount of these workers live in Chester or have moved out of the area, and everyone contribute to the local economy. Trash and waste management is the reality of every major city. There is no option that comes without impact. What matters is how the impact is managed. Waste-to-energy incineration is one of the most heavily regulated waste management systems in the country, overseen by the EPA with continuous monitoring and enforceable standards. The facility operates in a long-established industrial zone alongside other infrastructure that already exists. The contract is currently out to bid. That process exists for a reason, to ensure fairness, competition, transparency, and the best outcome for taxpayers and residents. Removing a qualified bidder from this process completely undermines the trust and puts jobs, costs, and public confidence at risk. There are also real consequences to consider. This facility contributes power to the regional grid at a time when energy costs are rising and ratepayers are already under pressure. Decisions like this do not happen in a vacuum. We support environmental protection. We believe in accountability, but we also believe in due process, working families, and fair competition. I respectfully urge Council to reject this bill and allow the bid process to proceed and attend without political interference and without sacrificing careers that our members' families depend on. Thank you for your time and consideration.
We have Shari Hirsch, Jeremy Gladstein, Queen Judith Robinson, May Bruce Griffiths, B.P. Lyles, Sandra Calhoun, John Scott, Angela Reese, and Linnea Bond also make their way to the podium.
Good afternoon. My name is Shari Hirsch. I'm speaking as a resident of Philadelphia. I'm also a member of Trash Academy and the Clean Philadelphia Now Coalition. I participate in a citywide campaign to end illegal dumping in Philadelphia by 2028. Thank you, members of City Council, for the opportunity to speak to support Stop Trashing Our Air Act. If Philadelphia is serious about becoming the cleanest, greenest big city in America, which we support, we must end incineration and ultimately landfilling, and ensure that our sanitation contracts include robust waste diversion requirements. We cannot make one community cleaner by trashing another. When 4,000 tires were removed from Tacony Creek Park, they were sent to ReWorld to be incinerated, a practice that harms nearby residents and contradicts our city's stated environmental goals. Please support this act and work that provides a pathway toward long-term solutions that reduce waste, improve public health, and strengthen local economic vitality. Our recycling rate is currently 13%, far below the 22% we achieved before COVID. Sanitation contracts must include composting to divert food waste, curbside textile collection, and programs that recover construction and demolition materials for reuse. These measures will help Philadelphia build a sustainable, equitable approach to waste management that makes all communities healthier and stronger. As the Clean and Green program continues to grow its capacity impact, let's ensure these gains are enduring and shared across every neighborhood.
Hello, Philadelphia City Council. Happy 2026. My name is Jeremy Blatstein. Some of you may know me as a real estate developer. Some of you may know me from my X account, Next Philly Mayor and Councilman Prerogative, or as the SEPTA guy, Ride the Ride, he did apologize to me, or as the guy who talks about housing, Grow Philly 22 Milli. But I'm here today as a member of the Philadelphia community who will never, quote, shut the F up, unquote. First off, shout out to my guys, John, Dot, AKA Nakeem, and Jaleel. They're real ones who are in the trenches every day fighting gun violence. The home plan matters, but I question whether we're being fiscally responsible by issuing bonds for these spending priorities. Supply, supply, supply. We have a housing supply problem. Most home dollars are spent once and are gone. That's not sustainable or fiscally responsible for bond dollars. That is what the general fund is supposed to be used for. Spending money is easy. Building housing in a fiscally responsible way is hard. Philadelphia keeps choosing easy. If we want affordability, we need more housing, especially workforce and middle-income housing, built at scale. The solution is straightforward. Create a revolving loan fund to build more housing. Capital that gets deployed, repaid, and redeployed again and again. This works. Other cities have done it. $1 can fund multiple projects instead of just one. $100 million can create 10,000 homes. If we want fewer emergencies and real affordability, we need to invest in supply, not just spending. And last but not least, we're talking about SEPTA. Raise your hand if you rode SEPTA looking fly since the last city council meeting. Yo, shout out to my guy, Councilman Young, who came up to me at an event and told me he rode SEPTA looking fly. Thank you, Councilman Young, for finally riding SEPTA. SEPTA's important. We need to fund SEPTA. Ride the ride. Thank you.
Queen Judith Robinson here, testifying regarding 251-065, Amendments 2. I'm going to start off by saying Happy New Year and trust but verify. And I'm going to say tell the truth and shame the devil. Bris Shalom is a bad deal for Philadelphia Housing Authority. Bad deal. $25 million with no inspection is a bad debt. You all are buying bad debt. Winfield Heights, I know the neighborhood may have changed a bit, but does not need PHA funds to do any deals. Come on, it's a market value community. PHA has lost its mission. PHA has more abandoned properties throughout Philadelphia, especially in the 32nd Ward. Since no one is speaking for us in the 32nd Ward, I want to say, let us get in on a deal so we can really, truly show you all how to do affordable housing. We live in an area where Woodstock Shelter is, and we know people are not looking to do anything but get out of those shelters into housing, and we also are near Raymond Rosen. PHA has been allowed to do eminent domain, so Councilman O'Rourke, when you came up to North Philly, that was on land taken using eminent domain, 1,000 parcels, so you need to know that, okay? I want to come and give you all a little update on your skills here. So you have the Lattimore family in South Philly. Generational wealth was stolen from them by PHA. You got the former headquarters of PHA in Rittenhouse Square, no less, and they're just now, after 20 years, trying to figure that out. Project labor agreements shut out African Americans for centuries. They're bad deals. Look at the job sites around town. Come up to North Philly and look at where these houses should have been. $40 million, a public project, and no black folks on the job. Just ask about 129-121, 19132. You're borrowing money or bond money, and the young people will have to pay for it. So I'm saying to all you young folks, get up and get at it. Even Grandma Judith here has her OSHA card. So I want to know if you're going to get one, young folks, check out Jeffrey Young's office. They are good about doing that. But stand up, tell the truth, and shame the devil.
Thank you.
Okay. Good morning. My name is Bruce Griffith. I appreciate the opportunity of speaking on behalf of ReWorld for everyone here. I'm a lifelong resident of Delaware County, a proud 7-year veteran of the United States Marine Corps. I was born and raised in the city of Chester, PA. I'm currently the operations training supervisor at ReWorld. I've been working at the facility for close to 35 years, starting out as a laborer, working the plants as a maintenance mechanic, operations technicians for 10 years. I was in the control room for 10 years with 2 federal licenses. You need a federal license to operate those boilers. And progressing into several management positions. We produce sustainable electrical generation for 51,000 houses, which reduces dependence on fossil fuels. We recycle over 34,000 tons of ferrous and 1,000 tons of non-ferrous metals, and we reduce the size of the MSW by 90%. Just as important is our continual commitment to our surrounding communities through city cleanup efforts, serving meals at the senior center, numerous food and clothing drives throughout the year. I take personal pride in assisting with opportunities for employment for the people of our community, specifically my city of Chester. Passing on knowledge of new employees provides me with a feeling of knowing sustainable solutions for the ever-growing concern of waste management can continue to move forward. I conduct numerous facility tours and discussions for high schools, elected officials, colleges, professional individuals, and the average person seeking information on our process year in and year out. This facility provides stability for me and my family when I unfortunately lost my job when Pennsylvania Shipyard in Chester closed in 1989. It has afforded me the opportunity to team and grow my knowledge in the challenging field of thermomechanical operations and pass this on to future workers. Thank you for my time.
Thank you.
Good morning, Council President, Majority, and all of you who are part of the City Council. I am B.P. Lyles, a lifelong Philadelphia resident. I am also the organizer for Delco Environmental Justice. So I won't state facts, figures. I think a lot of that has been done. I want to talk about the fact that Philadelphia is on the precipice of decision-making. With the current President of the United States that has devalued climate, that has devalued environmental justice, that is in fact attempting to roll the clock back, attempting to ensure that blacks and other people of color remain and go back to the bottom of the dung heap. it is imperative that we as Philadelphia take the stance. We're moving in positive, progressive directions as it relates to housing, as it relates to homelessness, as it relates to safety. I just firmly believe that it would be a mistake for us to fail as it relates to the Stop Trashing Our Air Act. I think we need to look at how Philadelphia is viewed across the country. The fact of the matter is that incineration has been banned. The last incinerator has been eradicated and closed in the state of Oregon. Recently, the same has been done in the state of California and also in Washington. The fact of the matter is we need to make a decision to stop sending our trash over to Chester and to stop sending our trash to Plymouth, and in fact to incorporate and utilize better practices for waste management that is concerned with the overall health of our citizens in this city and all across the region. You have the power to do that, and I know that the country is watching us.
The chair now recognizes Councilmember Jones.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to go back to someone who I hold in high regard, high esteem. Listen to her every time she comes up to give public comment, Queen Judith Robinson. And to the Queen, I would only say that every now and then a broke clock is right, every now and then a blind squirrel get an acorn, and every now and then somebody can be wrong. And I want to push back gently to say that Brith Shalom was ground zero in the 4th Councilmanic District, the 52nd Ward, and the city of Philadelphia. Brith Shalom was a chapter right out of The Sopranos, where somebody took out a $34 million loan. Did the walk around, and then put nothing back into the property, taking all of the proceeds somewhere else. And then, where she is correct, tried to gyp us and sell back to the city of Philadelphia this distressed property. In fact, it was more insidious. They tried to get the L&I department to close Brith Shalom because of violations so that they could not take any responsibility for it. PHA, Calvin Jeremiah, my hero, came in and negotiated one of the best. I would never play poker with that man. He looked them in the eye. They wanted more money. He settled on 24, right? And at the settlement table, those criminals were prosecuted and are in jail. They thought they were getting away with the bag. They were wrong. President Johnson said to me right away, early on, hey, we need to ask the State Attorney General to pursue this. I said, with all due respect, please hold up on that until they sell that property. And once they did, they did. Now, moving forward, our mayor, who has committed over 30,000 units of affordable housing, 300 are going to come from Brith Shalom. We are going to renovate beyond those individuals that were relocated expectations so that when they come home, it will be a home that they're willing to welcome people to visit. You went with me. O'Rourke went with me on the tour. Driscoll went with me on the tour of that property. And in one of the units, we stood in front of a unit, Madam Chair, it still chokes me up, where there was crime tape on the door. They had said that the lady had passed away 3 days before and was partially attacked by varmints and insects. No veteran, no disabled person, no senior citizen deserves to live their 4th quarter of life like that. Martin Luther King said that everyone deserves a safe, affordable place to live. And if we're going to live up to that creed, I thank I thank the unions that stepped up to the plate, putting their money where their mouth is, putting $50 million into the restoration. You may consider that a bad deal. I've considered that a good break. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Council will be at ease. Excuse me, we are not able to proceed at this time. We are waiting for the stenographer. Council will be at ease. Thank you. Our council session will be back in order. Ma'am, please state your name for the record and you may proceed.
Good morning, City Council. My name is Sandra Calhoun, AKA Aminata. I'm here today. Number one, I cannot say Happy New Year. How can we say Happy New Year when here we have a whole city, a whole industry, people suffering strategically, intentionally from an inhumane environmental injustice? So where is the Happy New Year? You can't be happy when you cannot breathe clean. And I am here in solidarity of Chester. We say here in Philadelphia, clean and green. How can the clean come and the green come when you don't have no breathing come? All we are doing is writing bills. Let's write a bill to breathe clean, not just in Chester, but throughout. Stomp out these incinerators that is killing us, that's giving Chester people asthma by the moment, all type of ills by the moment. And we here in Philadelphia, we are just funk dumplings dying from unclean injustice environment. Thank you. Stomp it out. No more bill to.
We have John Scott, Angela Reese, Linnea Bond, Mitch Channon, Andrea Robinson, Kelly Devlin, Mike Van Brunt, LaKeisha Anthony, and David Crone also make your way to the podium.
All right. Good morning, council members. My name is John Scott. I'm a proud resident of District 5. Shout out to Jay Young. Thank you again for your servant leadership. I serve as the Director of Government Relations for ReWorld, and I'm here today because of the serious concerns with Bill 250768, a bill that would directly impact jobs and livelihoods for more than 100 employees and partners with ripple effects beyond just one company. I came to Philadelphia for opportunity. I earned my graduate degree at Fordham University and my undergrad from Lincoln University of Pennsylvania, the nation's first HBCU. Shout out to Councilman Thomas as well, and Mayor Parker. I chose the city because I found a company that invested in communities that look like mine. I began working at the ReWorld site at 58th and Woodland Avenue alongside Philadelphians who take pride in their work. That experience took me to Chester and eventually elsewhere. It's because of those workers and their families that I'm here today. Here are the facts. The RFP was issued December 23rd. RFP responses are due less than a month away. Vendors will be selected this spring. ReWorld's existing contract with the City of Philadelphia goes until June 30th. Intervening now undermines a competitive and fair procurement process. Many of you have heard directly from leaders that you respect on this issue. Those leaders would not be reaching out and putting their names on the line if they did not believe this bill raises serious concerns. There has been strong opposition to this bill from those same labor union leaders, community leaders, and other stakeholders because it interferes with an active RFP process, advances claims not supported by comprehensive independent analysis, risks higher disposal cost, increased transportation emissions, and job losses. Council members, this is not about just one company. It's about process, fairness, workers, and fiscal responsibility. And let me be clear in closing, this is not a vote to approve a vendor. This is a vote to allow a qualified company to continue participating in the RFP process that is already underway. I respectfully urge you to vote no on Bill 250768. Thank you for your time.
Good morning. My name is Linnea Bond, and I'm the Director of Education for Physicians for Social Responsibility, Pennsylvania. Are some communities more disposable than others? And if so, which ones? 2 weeks ago, the EPA passed a final rule that the federal agency would no longer consider the economic cost of harm to human health from fine particles and ozone, two air pollutants that are known to affect human health. No one wants their health to be reduced to a number, especially when federal and state regulations are already often too lax and frequently violated. But at least when the EPA counted the cost of asthma, cancers, miscarriages, lifelong vulnerability that results from preterm labor, and other health impacts of incineration, for example, everyone's health was reduced to the same cold numbers. We know that it's not that they're no longer counting, it's just that our health and our lives are now worth $0 compared to the purchasing power of who can pay by the favor of the highest powers in the land. In the context of this moment, this government, if Chester is disposable to us, what protects us from the same treatment by others with more power? We are a city that resembles Chester in many ways. Philadelphia is the poorest large city in America. In Chester, because of the incinerator, you can buy a house for $60,000. Our populations have a similar racial makeup. We must stand with Chester not only because we share the same air and pollution from burning our trash in Chester carries back to us, but because neither of our communities are disposable, and we have to stand together for the importance of human health, especially of vulnerable populations. We knew 7 years ago about the impacts of the incinerator, and we punted. We must pass this bill today to act on what we know. Thank you.
Greetings, everyone. City Council President and members, my 9th District Councilman Anthony Phillips. Thank you for introducing this important resolution about women's cervical health. I am a 16-year cervical health and disabilities inclusion excellence advocate who, by the grace of God, is a victoriously surviving cervical cancer survivor and being paralyzed for over 6 years from chemotherapy and internal external radiation beam therapy. Charter chapter leader of the National Cervical Cancer Coalition, Pennsylvania Uptown Philly chapter, I am dedicated to serving women with or at risk for cervical cancer. I am also the author of and publisher of the SurvivorDiva.com digital media resource for cervical cancer awareness and disability inclusion excellence advocacy. This resolution is very important. I don't want anyone else having to go through all that I have gone through and endured fighting this preventable cancer that disproportionately affects Black women and, who have the higher death rates and incidence of disease. Disparities in cervical cancer stem from systemic issues like socioeconomic status, race, ethnicity, and geographic location, leading to unequal access to prevention, which is HPV vaccination and screenings, and follow-up care, especially for marginalized groups. Key factors include medical mistrust, lack of insurance, resources, limited health literacy, screening and follow-up gaps, and structural barriers, resulting in later stage diagnosis and higher mortality rates. Highlighting issues with healthcare quality and delivery, not just biology. There's a stigma often causing women to delay or avoid vital screenings and treatment. Policy changes, education, healthcare, provider role, and community engagement are key to overcoming stigma. Legislation must be better address lower income, under the uninsured individuals who face more barriers to preventative care. The solution is to address the root causes. Closing the cervical cancer gap requires addressing these social determinants of health through improved access, tailored education, culturally sensitive care, and policies that promote health equity. This is another rallying call to action for the city of Philadelphia to lead the charge in Pennsylvania, prioritizing and finding funding to better implement the World Health Organization's elimination of strategy for cervical cancer. Thank you for your time.
May you please restate your name for the stenographer?
Angela Reese.
Thank you.
We have Mitch Channon, Andrea Robinson, Kelly Devon, Mike Van Brunt, LaQuisha Anthony, David Crone, and may Tawanda Tynes, Nadir Muhammad, Ava Muhammad, Nija Muhammad, and David Jenkins also make their way to the podium.
Hi, thanks for the opportunity to speak. My name is Mitch Channon. I live in Northeast Philadelphia in the 10th District. I organize with 2 and 5 People's Alliance up there. I also chair the Climate Justice Caucus in Reclaim Philly, and I'm here to speak in favor of the Stop Trashing Our Air Act. Everyone deserves clean air, safe air, and a healthy neighborhood, but the city's current waste management practices deny people that right. As Mayor Root said, during the mayoral candidate debate 2 years ago, Jeff Brown infamously said, in response to a question about the incinerator, that Chester is Chester. He's running to be mayor of Philadelphia. The trash has to go somewhere. Council needs to decide today whether you will uphold the fierce critiques that people made of Jeff Brown at that time, or if you will do the right thing and honor the health and well-being of people in Chester as though they are equal to people in Philadelphia. We used to burn trash here in the city of Philadelphia. We had incinerators throughout the city, including one in your council district, Councilmember Jones in Roxborough, including one in Councilmember Squill's district. He's not here listening. At Spring Garden and Delaware Avenue. Those were closed because of the health impact of the toxic pollution. We did not want to burn trash in our city. In the 1980s, there was a fierce debate about whether or not to build a new incinerator at the Navy Yard. City Council decided that we would not do that because we did not want the toxic pollution in our city. Yet, we have repeatedly made the decision to send 180,000 tons of trash per year to be burned in someone else's neighborhood. Do people in Chester matter less than people in Philadelphia? Then why is it okay for us to send our trash there? If New York City were sending 180,000 tons of trash every year to be burned in neighborhoods in Philadelphia, I guarantee you Philadelphia would not allow that. So why are we doing it to Chester? Thank you.
Good afternoon, City Council and everybody that's here. My name is Andrea Robinson. I am with the One Pennsylvania Chester chapter. And I am a Chester resident. I'm here today thanking you for the opportunity to have a voice in this matter about incinerating the trash in Chester. I'm here to urge City Council to please pass this bill, 250768, for the health and wellness of the city of Chester. I am someone who is affected by this. I live close to the incineration. Didn't know that I was moving to it when I moved to Chester 3 years ago. I walk out my door and I smell the stinkiness of this incinerator going on. I'm embarrassed to invite my family and friends from other places to come to my house to see me and my family because of that odor. Not only that, but the chemical factory is not far from me, so I'm dealing with that and the incineration and the dust, the dirt, all over the car, all over the porch, all over the windows and everything. We need some relief here. Please, City Council, help us to live better. We want to thrive. We want to be healthy. We want to be strong. We want to contribute back into society well, okay? And we're suffering from a whole lot of different health issues, sinuses, allergies, you heard lung cancer, all kinds of diseases that I have to take double medication for. I walk out my door some days and my nose just lights up. It just starts burning. And really, I mean, that's terrible. Sneezing, coughing excessively. I have 3 granddaughters I'm raising, young teenagers. They're going through things right now that they didn't have health issues like that before we got there. And don't get me wrong, I can make it in Chester. I have a home there, but I want to be healthy and strong. So please. And not only that, other people around me, my neighbors, other people are complaining. About this. So please, pass the bill of 250768. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Kelly Devlin. I'm the Director of Social Services at the Salvation Army for Greater Philadelphia, where I oversee anti-human trafficking services across the city. Today, I'm here in support of Councilwoman's resolution recognizing January as Human Trafficking Awareness Month and Bill 250990, which is up for final passage. This bill prevents victims of human trafficking from experiencing workplace discrimination based on their victim status. Survivors deserve safety, dignity, and the opportunity to rebuild their lives. Through the New Day to Stop Trafficking program, we see every day how critical stable, safe employment is to survivors' long-term independence. This legislation is an important step toward removing barriers to stability and self-sufficiency. Employment protection is not just a workplace issue. It is a public safety issue, a recovery issue, and an economic stability issue. Passing this bill during Human Trafficking Awareness Month sends a powerful message to survivors that this city's leadership sees them, believes them, and is taking action to protect their rights. City Council members, on your desk, you will find the Salvation Army's annual report detailing our work over the past year with human trafficking survivors. Through New Day, we served 1,100 survivors across all zip codes in Philadelphia. We provided 296 survivors with trauma-informed case management, supported 65 police-assisted diversions, and delivered critical basic needs services through our drop-in center in Kensington, including 5,600 meals and 773 showers, helping survivors stabilize and take their next steps towards safety and self-sufficiency. Thank you again, City Council, and a special Councilwoman Dr. Ahmad for elevating this issue and for your continued partnership. On behalf of the survivors we served last year, those we continue to serve today, and the many are still hidden in exploitation, I urge you to pass Bill 250990, and I ask you not to stop there, but to continue bringing human trafficking awareness to the forefront and advancing policies that protect survivors and strengthen prevention in our city. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Pardon me one moment. Per the Rules of Council, Section 16, under Resolution Number 240001, under public comment, we are providing for an opportunity for the public to give public comment. And we have the right to set the time. We have only gotten through 23 of 54 witnesses. At this time, per the Rules of Council under Section 16 of Resolution Number 240001, I am now changing the time allotted for public comment to 1 minute because we want to have the opportunity to hear from each person. So I respectfully request that each person amend their public comment to 1 minute so that we can hear from each of you. Okay? Everybody okay with that? Okay, well, excuse me. Under Section 5 of Section 16, we can also defer the rest of public comment for today. I'm allowing everyone 1 minute. Thank you very much.
Good morning, council members, and thank you for the opportunity to comment. My name is Michael Van Brunt. I am a licensed environmental engineer, and I lead the environmental and sustainability team at ReWorld. The world's most sustainable countries, like Germany, use waste-to-energy facilities like Chester to help reduce the environmental impact of managing waste, and they place those facilities directly in their cities. The EU, United Nations, and the EPA all recognize waste-to-energy as preferable to landfilling. Our opponents have cited a report commissioned by Delaware County. This report had critical and fundamental errors. Instead of relying on greenhouse gas emissions data reported to EPA since 2010, the authors developed their own emissions estimate, overstating emissions by 57%. Additional error was that the proponents of the bill used or ignored recent data from NASA, EDF, and others that showcase how much more damaging landfills are to the climate than before. I understand that you've received lots of different and conflicting information. We are willing to have a robust conversation about the facts, but this will take time. I urge the council to vote against the bill.
Thank you. Next. You have 1 minute. They're going to shut down the mic, okay? State your name for the record.
Good morning. My name is Lakeisha Anthony. I'm the Senior Manager of Advocacy at WAR, Philadelphia Center Against Sexual Violence, the only rape crisis center in Philadelphia. Thank you to Councilmember Ahmad for your leadership and for Bill number 25099. January is Human Trafficking Awareness Month, a time to confront trafficking with truth and action. Human trafficking and sexual assault are deeply connected. Sex trafficking is rooted in repeated sexual violence used to control and exploit survivors. There is no consent, only force, fraud, and coercion. Trafficking is happening in our communities, often hidden in plain sight. It thrives when systems fail to protect the most vulnerable and when silence replaces accountability. Bill number 25099 is a critical step towards protection, accountability, justice for survivors. While legislation alone cannot end trafficking, it sends a clear message that exploitation will not be tolerated. Supporting this bill means believing survivors, prioritizing prevention, and aligning our laws with our values. I urge you to stand for justice and dignity and human rights by supporting this bill and continuing to raise awareness for human trafficking through this month and beyond. Thank you.
When the light goes on. My name's David Kronheim. I lived in Pennsylvania, Delaware Valley for over 40 years. Today we heard from Covanta Reworld that the main cause of pollution in the city of Chester is vehicles, trucks. The one venue that has more trucks than anywhere else in the city is Covanta. They have hundreds of trucks idling on our streets every single day, waiting to dump their trash in or take their trash out. So however you figure it, they're our biggest cause of pollution. In 66, Philadelphia had 6 major incinerators. In 86, Philadelphia had 14,000 tons of unwanted toxic ash from those incinerators. That trash went on a cargo ship. Jesus. They ended up dumping 4,000 tons in Haiti, and the rest of it dumped illegally in the Atlantic and the Indian Oceans. The point is, pass the act.
Hello again, and members of City Council, and thank you for this opportunity to testify a second time today. My name is Joanna Otero Cruz, Executive Director of Women Against Abuse. For survivors of domestic violence and relationship abuse, reproductive choice is essential. Many have experienced sexual violence, rape, and reproductive control by their partner. When access to abortion and reproductive care is restricted, the problem intensifies. Reproductive health is a pathway to safety, autonomy, and survival. After Roe versus Wade was overturned, Philadelphia stepped up by investing in city funding to support patients and providers. But in the 2025 budget, the funding was cut. While providers are overwhelmed, barriers are increasing, and national attacks continue to escalate. Supporting reproductive freedom is supporting survivors, families, and communities. We urge City Council to act now. Thank you.
Excuse me, I apologize. I called a few names out of order. We just had Joanna Otero Cruz, then we have Natalie Proud, Jasmine Green, Dawn Colburn, Zara Riley, Lisa Hastings, Rochelle Lashley, then Tawanda Tynes, Nadir Muhammad, Ava Muhammad, and Nija Muhammad. Then David Jenkins. I apologize for any confusion. Natalie Proud, Jasmine Green, Dawn Colburn, Zara Riley, Lisa Hastings, Rochelle Lashley. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Natalie Proud. Thank you for allowing the privilege of speaking in front of you today. I am the program director for Covenant House, Pennsylvania, and the co-chair of the Philadelphia Anti-Trafficking Coalition. At Covenant House, 1 in 5 young people we serve in our shelter are survivors of trafficking. And last year, the Philadelphia Anti-Trafficking Coalition identified 497 survivors of trafficking, up 23% from last year. And I do want to point out that that is only the survivors that are affiliated with any kind of social service or identified by law enforcement. Trafficking costs the U.S. $9.5 billion every year. While traffickers are getting rich, the rest of society is taking a financial hit. It impacts society as a whole by increasing criminal justice system expenses, depressed hourly wages, decreased economic spending power, increased costs for healthcare systems, and the loss of social capital. We need City Council to earmark money specifically for the prevention of human trafficking and investing in interventions. We need money to create more housing opportunities for those exploited, and the lack of safe and stable housing is often identified by survivors as the reason they were trafficked or cannot escape trafficking.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, my name is Nadir Muhammad. I'm not here to give a whole speech. I'm just going to let God speak to me and through the hearts of the body. I'm a father and a long-term resident of the city of Chester that goes back 7 generations. My daughters have suffered because of this incinerator. When my youngest daughter was born, she's a little scared. My youngest daughter was born. She was said by the doctors for the first couple years of her life, she was one of the most healthiest children they had ever seen. We don't believe in vaccinations. We eat clean and healthy, and she's a vegan child. When we started to spend a lot of time on the west end of the city, it's near the incinerator, we saw a drift in her health. And one of those things was a cough that really continues to this day, a chronic cough. She has constant and chronic nosebleeds. And my youngest daughter's asthma started to flare. It's been a dangerous situation for the citizens of the city of Chester, and we here to stand with Councilwoman Gutierrez to make sure that this incinerator gets shut down. We appreciate you, sister, for everything you've done, and I'll yield the rest of my time to my oldest daughter.
Thank you. I can't even reach it. Hello, my name is Ava Muhammad, and I just wanted to say, I remember feeling really scared, thinking my baby sister, who I would protect with all my life, was sick all the time and not knowing the reason why. I was really young, also having really bad allergy reactions and problems, while my 1-year-old sister was having really bad bleeds, and she could barely breathe when she would sleep. She coughed all the time for years. That suddenly happened when we moved to Chester. So I ask of you, please clean our air.
Hello all, my name is Tia Tynes. Sure, thank you. Good afternoon all. My name is Tia Tynes. I'm speaking as an individual, and I'm also speaking as one of the co-directors of Trash Academy. This is regarding Stop Trashing Our Air Act. Okay, so as a person that suffers from asthma and allergies, my triggers do not have to be significant for me to have an attack. So I find it absolutely terrifying that the residents of Chester are constantly in a position to have to breathe in this toxic air. And we all know that the rates of asthma and cancer are very high in Chester due to the incinerator. I think what we can do to help our fellow citizens in Chester out is to rethink our waste management solutions. Compared to other large cities in the country, Philadelphia is behind in waste diversion. Change is definitely hard and not for the weak-minded and lazy. Kicking the can down the road is not an option. Now, here in Philadelphia, we're working to end illegal dumping by 2028. Chester, rightfully so, is livid about those who've been allowed to legally dump on them, Philadelphia being one of those legal dumpers. My point, just because it's legal doesn't make it right. We want clean and green for Chester too. Besides waste diversion, another solution we can act on right away is being mindful of our consumption and the contents and after effects of what we consume. Thank you very much.
Good morning, City Council members.
Last we stood together, we stood as winners. For that, we would like to thank all council members who voted for the amended home plan that prioritized low-income working
Ma'am,
class.
excuse me, please state your name for the record. Thank you.
Dawn Colburn, I apologize. Working class and homeowners that needed. But the fight continues. By the grace of God, we stand here again, so low-income renters like me are protected from being bullied, retaliated against, or just treated poorly. City council members, you have the chance to make sure that the houses built or preserved by home plan are safe and healthy for renters. We look forward to you council members passing the Safe Healthy Homes Act. Not too long ago, I was scared to speak up. I was worried that since I don't have a big paycheck or a degree, I wouldn't be taken seriously. But today, I know you are never alone. I stand with 1PA. Please pass Safe Healthy Homes.
Time after. Thank you. David Alexander Jenkins, and I rise in favor of Bill 251065. At a time when the federal government doubles down on the underinvestment of community, radical wealth gaps, and concentrated poverty, ushering a bitter winter upon us, when our dear and fearless leader declares war on his own citizens, not simply by forcing upon them a frost-like secret police and inciting insurrection, but also advocating for agendas of policy that dismantle the fabric of our nation our forefathers built. Understand that today I am moved not only to be here in Philadelphia, but to stand before you and to say that we are working on unshackling the feet of our brethren, unburdening them where we can, and ensuring that they can move forward in life from a labored call into a vibrant dance. We here have heard from Self Inc., from Quietly House, and we are with the mayor who has announced that this body has a commitment to end street homelessness, and today I find myself before you championing home. Let's say that it is a poor frog who does not praise his own pond, and you see, in this city, in this American experiment, where we first argued for its existence, where independence was drafted as not poetry but policy, we find ourselves here in Philly, the GOAT. So it is with your vote today that I move resources and pass legislations that preserve affordability, expand protections, fund neighborhood stabilization, and invest in the dignity that citizens of this more perfect union ask for. The home plan is what good governance looks like when we govern on behalf of the people from whence power is derived, unshackling the feet of our citizens that they might once again dance, warming the streets with the vitality that it once knew, thawing the ice of a federally imposed winter, which this has plagued us too long. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody, and my name is Zara Riley, and I'm a youth member of the Reproductive Freedom Task Force. Accessing reproductive rights and health is not a privilege, but a necessity that is being denied to those in crucial need. The nation we live in was built off of freedom and the choice to decide. In September of 2023, a woman of the name Brittany Watts was denied her choice in care at a hospital due to the abortion laws and regulations put on overturning Roe v. Wade. While suffering through a miscarriage, she was arrested and later charged when officers broke into her home and destroyed her toilet looking for fetal remains, which eventually landed her a felony charge of abuse with a corpse. Her experience was not only traumatic, but when begging for help, the help was denied. When given the choice to be able to help, the doctors, under fear of prosecution, told her no. Many cases like this will go unheard of. There are countless cases that will not hear of this, and this is disheartening. The fear of holding on to inalienable rights. I implore you to ask the question, when do we as a nation allow our freedom and rights to be violated for the comfort and to conform to the beliefs of others? Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hastings. I live and breathe in Philadelphia. I'm asking all city council members to vote yes on 20768 and stop the city from sending its trash and recycling for incineration and thus stop paying to turn trash into pollution. I seriously doubt the claims made today that the Chester incinerator is suddenly environmentally sound based on the recent history of serious Clean Air Act violations it's had. According to EPA's website, in 2024, they were fined over $300,000 for being in high priority violation of the Clean Air Act in 12 out of 12 monitoring quarters. Thank you.
My name is Rochelle Lashley, and I'm a resident in Southwest Philadelphia and a member of 1PA Southwest Rising. I want to thank Council President Kenyatta Johnson and the rest of the City Council doing the right thing and voting for the amended Year 1 home budget. The home budget you approved is a win for everyone in Philadelphia, Bill number 251065. I am a retired homeowner who was once turned down for the basic system repair program because I made just over the income limit. The budget expands access to necessary repairs to people like me, and at the same time, it prioritizes funding for low-income people who need them most. I want to thank you for supporting the common sense approach. We are continuing to face a housing crisis in Philadelphia, where regular folks are being priced out of their neighborhoods. Now is the time for everyone to come together and support the Real Housing Solution and the budget as an important step in the right direction. Again, thank you for passing the home budget, and we hope you will come for the fight the program and ensure that everyone get the safe, health, and affordable homes we deserve. Thank you again.
We have Jasmine Green and Nicole Barkley Jones, Maymia Santiago, Sarah Green, Kingsley Onwuka, Zuline Mayfield, Randy Felice, Justin Johnson, and Carol Swingle also make their way to the podium.
Good morning, Council President and members of City Council. My name is Jasmine Green, here with Nicole Barkley Jones, and we are speaking today in support of Ordinance 250990, addressing discrimination based on human trafficking victim status.
We are members of the Philadelphia Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, a public service organization of Black women whose legacy is rooted in advocacy, justice, and the protection of our communities.
Human trafficking is not an isolated issue. It is a systemic crisis that disproportionately harms women and girls, particularly Black women. Globally, women make up nearly all victims of forced sexual exploitation. And in the United States, African American women are overrepresented among those affected. These realities demand both compassion and action. No one should be punished for surviving violence. Recovery should be met with opportunity, not discrimination.
Ordinance 250990 is a critical step forward, ensuring survivors are protected as they rebuild their lives. Delta Sigma Theta Sorority social action work calls for comprehensive protections that safeguard victims' rights, make those rights permanent within the justice system, and ensure that they can be enforced. Through our chapters, we also commit to reducing trafficking through education, awareness, and survivor-centered partnerships.
Through our work in Philadelphia, we hear directly from our communities. Stories of women who survive trafficking, only to encounter new forms of exclusion when they seek employment, housing, and stability. We are here to make sure that no longer happens. For these reasons, and we acknowledge Human Trafficking Prevention Month, this January, the Philadelphia Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated proudly supports Ordinance 250990 as meaningful steps toward justice, dignity, and healing for survivors in our city. Thank you.
State your name for the record. You have 1 minute. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Dr. Sarah Green, and I'm a pediatrician practicing and living in Philadelphia. I'm here today to voice my concern about our city's lack of funding for sexual and reproductive health care. Access to these services benefits my patients in a myriad of ways, and reproductive health is about taking control of your body. When this care is threatened, there are vast consequences. I'm concerned that the city of Philadelphia has stopped funding reproductive health. New York, Atlanta, and Baltimore have all created local funds to support reproductive health care. Their support shows that they have made this critical medical care a priority to their citizens, and I believe Philadelphians deserve this as well. I appreciate Council Members Brooks and Landau for standing up for this issue. I'm looking forward to our people's hearing on reproductive freedom in March. In this unprecedented time, our nation is trying to determine our values and morals, and I hope that as Philadelphians, we put reproductive health care at the forefront.
Hello, City Council.
My name is Kingsley Onwuka. I am a proud supporter of 1PA. I stand with 1PA. I live in Penrose Plaza in Councilman Kenyatta's district. My whole family moved. I'm a trained medical professional, currently not practicing. My whole family moved to Philadelphia in 1995, 3 years after Covanta Incinerator took over Chester, and we started dumping our trash in Chester. Every member of my family already had chronic asthma, but was well managed. It got so bad as we moved here. We live in Penrose, Philadelphia, where the air comes from Chester into Philly. It got so bad, we lost my grandmother to asthma. All my 4 kids have finished college and have moved out of Philly because of chronic asthma. My entire family has moved out of Philly. I love Philly. I don't want to move. I just finished paying my mortgage. Please have the courage to pass this bill because clean air is a human right.
You have 1 minute. State your name for the record. Good morning. Zuline Mayfield from Chester Residents Concerned for Quality Living. I am here in support of the Stop Trashing Our Air Act 250768. I want to set the record clear on a couple of things. Covanta is and has never been a union shop. Out of 33 to 35 years, they've only generated 120 jobs. So I understand that this is a blue-collar city. Be ye not deceived by what they tell you. We have created, this organization has created at least 30 jobs in 3 years. So you do the math, and they clean jobs. They're not killing anybody. Our people are not dying from cancer because of jobs that Circle has created. I've seen more black people from WeWorld than I've seen in 33 years of doing this. So stop playing that racist game with us, pulling out all these black workers like they from us when they look like our kinfolk, but they not. Pass this act, and we're going to keep on moving forward because it's not just about Chester's air. It don't stop in Chester. It don't stop at the border. It don't stop at the fence line. Thank you.
We have Randy Felice, Justin Johnson, Carol Swingle, May John Fleming, Dwayne Walker, Lynn Landis, Signe Espinosa, Diane Mitchell, Karen Melton, and Big Dre please make their way to the podium.
Swingle, spelled like single with a swing. I support Bill 250768, the Stop Trashing Our Air Act. The people of Chester have long endured under an extremely high and unjustly disproportionate burden of harmful air pollution. But air pollution, especially particulate pollution, released in the air in Chester doesn't only affect those living in Chester. People throughout the Delaware County towns, especially Trainer, Aston, Eddystone, Marcus Hook, Upland, and Swarthmore, and even as far as the city of Philadelphia, are directly harmed by this pollution. The irony is that incineration of trash, besides being the most polluting way to manage municipal waste, is also the most expensive. Mayor Sherrell Parker's important efforts to make Philadelphia green are paying off for the people of Philadelphia, but don't make Philadelphia mean by sending your trash to Chester.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Obona Hagins. I'm a 4th-generation chattel slavery survivor. Today, we celebrate a remarkable program, the Philadelphia Juvenile Justice Service Center School and its 20th biannual Carte Diem program. Carte Diem means seize the day, and that is exactly what this program does. It gives judges and young people a chance to engage, learn, and empower each other. When judges sit with youth, the law stops being abstract. It becomes something they can understand and use. Carte Diem is the perfect moment to teach about the Reconstruction Amendments. So these young people know the mandated rights. The 13th Amendment did not just end slavery, it requires the government to eliminate the badges, vestiges, and incidents of slavery. These are not opinions, they are violations of the Constitution. On the 27th, we deal with that by having a hearing to establish the Office of Freedmen Affairs. I welcome everyone to come, 10 a.m. In City Council chambers.
Hi. Hello, I'm Lynn Landis. I was going to speak on another subject, but I am the publisher of ZeroWasteAmerica.org, and I invite people to go to that website. Back in 1996, I developed it. Lived in Bucks County, where we were getting Philadelphia trash. So this has a lot of important information about what went wrong with the trash issue, why the Solid Waste Disposal Act that required all the states to develop plans to minimize waste production were ignored. And so Pennsylvania was at the time the largest importer of waste in the nation. I called it the nation's waste basket. So this is an opportunity for Philadelphia to change course. We've been residents of Philadelphia for 24 years now, but it's time that we do something different with our waste and recycling. So I completely support this proposal. Thank you.
No time came up. Hold on a second. Thank you, sir. All right. State your name for the record. You have 1 minute.
Good afternoon. My name is Karen Melton. I live in East Falls, and I'm here in support of Don't Trash Our Air. I can't tell you in 1 minute everything that's wrong with incinerating trash in the middle of a neighborhood, but you've already heard many of those reasons. Really, it comes down to this. At a time when our federal government has abandoned all semblance of decency, morality, and even reason, you can vote today for all of those things. This is simply about Philadelphia, right here, right now, doing the right thing. Thank you.
We have Randy Fallis, Justin Johnson, John Fleming, Dwayne Walker, Signe Espinoza, Diane Mitchell, Big Adre, Patricia Zirin Kronheim, Melissa R. Drazzoni, Hannah Markovich, and Bria George. Please come to the podium.
Okay, hello, my name is Dwayne Walker, and I didn't know what I was going to say when I came here, but now I implore you, I beg you to pass this bill. You know, I already had 4 strokes, amputated, my lungs bad, asthma all my life, but I got 5 grandchildren under 5. Save their lives, okay, save their lives and give them a chance to grow up healthy. And we talking about healthy in homes. Hold landlords accountable. Because no way we talking about breathing air outside, but I'm talking about breathing air inside. I should not have to breathe raw sewage for 6 years in my apartment, and he won't be held accountable. So please, please, push all this stuff through for our children and the generations to come. Clean air. Thank you.
Good morning, President Council Kenyatta Johnson, council people at large. I'm here. First, my name is Diane Hamilton Mitchell. I am a retired teacher from the city of Philadelphia, and I am the winner of the Beautiful Block Contest that was held 2025. But beside that, my reason for being here is that we have a crisis in Philadelphia dealing with the bicycles, the scooters that are on delivery, and we have parents that have their children riding a scooter, and they're operating the scooter with their child in the middle with no helmet on. I have to look both ways when I cross the street, because when I'm crossing the street, I'm looking north and west, and I'm hoping that a scooter is not coming past me or a bike. The bikes are not stopping at the stop sign. Recently, 2025, a person that was killed at 56 and Lancaster, he was hit by a car. Let's make this an ordinance. Let's make it mandatory. We need licensed and insured when it comes to the cyclists in the Philadelphia. Let's make this happen now, but right now. Thank you so much for your time.
You have 1 minute. State your name for the record, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Bigger Dre, advocating for Stop Trashing Our Air Act on behalf of the city of Chester, Pennsylvania, and Chester residents concerned for the quality of living. As we come off observation of Dr. Martin Luther King, I want to paraphrase, injustice to anyone is injustice to everyone. Well, this outdated process of burning trash in the city of Chester is an injustice to everyone from that city and everyone who's connected. So I'm encouraging you to do the right thing. We look at the city of Philadelphia as the city of brotherly love. So we ask you to empathize and show that love and compassion and be human. In the words of George Floyd, let us breathe. Thank you.
You have 1 minute. State your name for the record, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Signe Espinosa, and I'm the Vice President of Public Policy and Advocacy at Planned Parenthood Southeastern Pennsylvania. And I also serve as the Executive Director of Planned Parenthood Pennsylvania Advocates as well. Thank you for your time today. I want to thank Councilmember Brooks for introducing her resolution commemorating today's anniversary of Roe v. Wade, and to Councilmember Ahmad for her resolution calling for hearings on the current state of sexual and reproductive health care across our city. I call on all council to support their efforts. Commemorating Roe matters, but we have to be honest. Roe was never enough. It was rooted in privacy and gestation and not in access for all. Too long before it was overturned, too many people who look like me and many like you, especially low-income women and women of color, were blocked from health care. The loss of Roe was not the end of something. It was the beginning of a new attack and a broader attack. Honoring Roe today means defending access right now. Planned Parenthood has already been defunded, yet providers continue to show up every day, providing essential services. We urge the city of Philadelphia to please act, and the most meaningful way that you can act right now is by ensuring that you invest in Planned Parenthood in your budget. Thank you.
Okay, sounds good. Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Melissa Artizone, and I'm a senior resident physician in OBGYN here in Philadelphia. Since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade in 2022, Philadelphia recognized the crisis created by national attacks on reproductive rights and invested in funding to support patients and providers. Funding gave financial support to reproductive health care workers that provided cervical cancer screening, early pregnancy ultrasounds, contraception, and abortion services. But in the 2025 budget, that funding was cut to $0. For patients, underfunding translates into reduced access to care with fewer available appointments, prolonged wait times, and the loss of essential support services. Unfortunately, these are not abstract consequences. They are realities that I encounter daily. Last week, I took care of a patient who came in with a fetal demise late in her second trimester. She reported not having felt any fetal movement for 10 days prior to presentation. She shared that she lacked family support, didn't have transportation, and did not fully understand how to seek care. As a result, she had a significantly more medically compromised than she otherwise might have been. Our patients deserve better, and with commitment and investment, our city can do better. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Hannah Markovich, and I'm a resident physician in OBGYN. I also proudly live in Council District 1. I'm joining you today to speak on Councilmember Brooks' resolution marking the 53rd anniversary of Roe v. Wade. After stepping up in 2023 and 2024 to fill gaps in federal funding, the 2025 Philadelphia budget allocated $0 for reproductive health services. I recently saw a 29-year-old patient who was pregnant here for her first prenatal visit. She told me she'd never been screened for cervical cancer, so I performed her first pap smear that day for cancer screening. I'll now be following her closely for a precancerous result. This is how preventive care should work, but without ongoing city funding, many Philadelphians largely those who are uninsured and low income, will lose access to life-saving preventive care and health education resources. I came here today to ask you to commit to Philadelphians' right to bodily autonomy. Fill the funding gap for reproductive health care. Ensure that every person who needs STI testing, birth control, abortion, or cancer screening can get it without regard for income or insurance status. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Bria George, representing New Voices for Reproductive Justice, and I'm a soon-to-be mother to my son, Miles. Today marks another anniversary of Roe v. Wade, and this moment is not symbolic. We are in a critical moment for reproductive freedom. Since Roe was overturned in 2022, we've seen funding cuts, criminalization of providers, and people losing access to life-saving care. Philadelphia stepped up after Roe fell, but in 2025 budget, that funding was cut to $0. These cuts weaken our public health infrastructure, limiting access to testing and other resources. Providers are stretched thin and patients are paying the price, and this is not sustainable. We cannot wait, and a hearing was authorized months ago, and we are still waiting. That's why advocates will hold a people's hearing on reproductive freedom in March, because action is needed now. Philadelphia can and must do more for patients, providers, and the future of our children. Thank you.
My name is Patricia Zyron Kronheim. Dogs don't shit where they sleep, but if you don't pass this Stop
Excuse
Trashing
me,
Our
ma'am.
Act,
Could you just keep the language appropriate if you don't mind? And this is the people's house, you can express yourself, but just for the appropriate, because my sons are probably watching this, and so try to raise them in decency.
if you don't pass this Stop Trashing Our Air Act, you are more stupid than dogs, because you are allowing your trash to be incinerated in Chester.
Can we keep it appropriate, ma'am?
It's the same as pooping in where you sleep. Air drifts, people. And if you are killing yourselves, why would you choose to sleep in your own filth? Putting your trash in Chester is the same as putting it in Philadelphia.
Council President, there are no further names for public comment.
That concludes today's public comment period. I think we had a total of 57 plus individuals providing public comment, which shows democracy in action. We will now consider the bills and resolutions on the second reading of final passage calendar. The chair recognizes Councilwoman Jamie Gautier.
Thank you, Council President. I want to start by thanking everyone who has come out today from Chester and from Philadelphia to share their stories about how the incinerator has impacted them and their family members and their communities, because that's the type of discussion that we have to be having in this chamber, and it also shows how real all of these legislative issues are. I've made the difficult decision to hold the bill for today because my colleagues have asked for more time with it. But I want to say a few words. I am very committed to this, and for several reasons. One, as a city of Philadelphia, we have to be a model. We have to be a model for brotherly love, sisterly affection, and for equity. And those principles have to run through everything we do in this city, including our procurements, including how we take care of our waste. We cannot hold ourselves up as the cleanest, greenest city while dumping on cities that are more vulnerable than us. The other reason why I'm very committed to this is because I've been to Chester many times and I've seen this site. I've seen the largest incinerator in the country sitting on their waterfront. I've seen how it's next to a wastewater disposal plant, a rail yard, and then there's talk of an LNG facility coming. And you know what I know? This would never happen in a community that wasn't populated mainly by Black people and mainly by poor Black people. And all of the folks that are lobbying otherwise, they know they would never accept this where they live. But so we'll keep working on this issue, and I'll end with this. People over profit, people over polluters. No matter what powerful interests stand in the way, period. Thank you.
Will the clerk please read the title of resolution number 250303?
A resolution honoring the Philadelphia Juvenile Justice Service Center School, celebrating its 20th biannual Carpe Diem, honoring all the judges and students who participate in this remarkable and beneficial event.
The chair recognizes Councilman Isaiah Thomas for a motion regarding resolution number 250303. Chair recognizes Councilman Gilmore Richardson.
Thank you, Council President. On behalf of Councilmember Thomas, I move the adoption of the resolution.
It has been moved and properly seconded that resolution number 250303 be adopted. All those in favor of the motion will signify by saying aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it. The motion carries. The resolution is adopted. Will the clerk please read the title of bill number 250986?
An ordinance amending section 14-500 of the Philadelphia Code entitled Overlay Zoning Districts by creating section 14-545 entitled West Fairmount Sports Overlay District, all under certain terms and conditions.
This bill has been read on 2 different days. The question now is, shall the bill pass finally? Will the chief clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Phillips.
Aye.
Councilmember Gilmore Richardson.
Aye.
Councilmember Gautier.
Aye.
Councilmember Jones.
Aye.
Councilmember Landau.
Aye.
Councilmember Losada.
Aye.
Councilmember Young.
Aye.
Councilmember Brooks.
Aye.
Councilmember Harity.
Aye.
Councilmember O'Rourke.
Aye.
Councilmember Driscoll. Councilmember O'Neill.
Aye.
Councilmember Squilla.
Aye.
Councilmember Bass.
Aye.
Councilmember Ahmad. Council President Johnson.
Aye. The ayes are 15. The nays are 0. A majority of all members having voted in the affirmative, the bill passes. Will the clerk please read the title of bill number 250990?
An ordinance amending Chapter 9-1100 of the Philadelphia Code entitled Fair Practices Ordinance, Protections Against Unlawful Discrimination, to add protections against employment discrimination on the basis of human trafficking victim status, all under certain terms and conditions.
This bill has been read on 2 different days. The question now is, shall the bill pass finally? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Phillips.
Aye.
Councilmember Gilmore Richardson.
Aye.
Councilmember Gautier.
Aye.
Councilmember Jones.
Aye.
Councilmember Landau.
Aye.
Councilmember Losada.
Aye.
Councilmember Young.
Aye.
Councilmember Brooks.
Aye.
Councilmember Harity.
Aye.
Councilmember O'Rourke.
Aye.
Councilmember Driscoll.
Aye.
Councilmember O'Neill.
Aye.
Councilmember Squilla.
Aye.
Councilmember Bass. Council President Johnson.
Aye. The ayes are 15. The nays are 0. Majority of all members having voted in the affirmative, the bill passes. Will the clerk please read the title of bill number 251027?
An ordinance authorizing transfers and appropriations for fiscal year 2025 from the General Fund, the Water Fund, the Water Residual Fund, the Grants Revenue Fund, the Aviation Fund, and the Transportation Fund, all from certain or all city offices, departments, boards, and commissions, to the General Fund, the Water Fund, the Water Residual Fund, the Aviation Fund, and the Transportation Fund, all to city or all city offices, departments, boards, and commissions.
This bill has been read on 2 different days. The question now is, shall the bill pass finally? Chief clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Phillips.
Aye.
Councilmember Gilmore Richardson.
Aye.
Councilmember Gautier.
Aye.
Councilmember Jones.
Aye.
Councilmember Landau. Councilmember Losada.
Aye.
Councilmember Young.
Aye.
Councilmember Brooks.
Aye.
Councilmember Harity.
Aye.
Councilmember O'Rourke.
Aye.
Councilmember Driscoll.
Aye.
Councilmember O'Neill.
Aye.
Councilmember Squilla.
Aye.
Councilmember Bass.
Aye.
Council President Johnson.
Aye. Ayes are 15. The nays are 0. Majority of all members having voted in the affirmative, the bill passed. The chief clerk, please read the title of Bill number 251065.
An ordinance amending Bill Number 250568, approved June 13th, 2025, entitled An Ordinance Authorizing and Approving the Execution and Delivery of a Service Agreement between the City of Philadelphia and the Philadelphia Redevelopment Authority relating to the financing of a Housing Opportunities Made Easy home plan, which includes housing production and preservation, home affordability, homeowner and renter assistance, related contractor training and support, blight and vacant property reduction, urban beautification, neighborhood infrastructure, and other related programs, approving the issuance by the authority of the bonds, notes or other evidences of indebtedness, including reimbursement obligations related to lines or letters of credit, and one or more of a series to finance or refinance such plan and authorizing and approving the obligation of the City of Philadelphia to pay in full, when due, the service fee and other amounts payable under the service agreement, authorizing certain city officers to take certain actions required to issue such bonds, notes or other evidences of indebtedness, covenanting that the City of Philadelphia will make the necessary appropriations in each of the city's fiscal years to provide for and will make timely payments of the service fee and other amounts due under the service agreement, requiring an annual program statement and budget to be approved by council and other requirements, and authorizing and approving the Director of Finance of the city and other city officials to take other necessary or appropriate actions to effectuate the purposes of this ordinance, all under certain terms and conditions, in order to expand on the home program and provide further process concerning spending, all under certain terms and conditions.
This bill having been read on 2 different days, the question now is, shall the bill pass finally? Chief Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Phillips?
Aye.
Councilmember Gilmore Richardson?
Aye.
Councilmember Gautier?
Aye.
Councilmember Jones?
On behalf of Alice, Asset Limited, Income Constrained, and Employed, I am voting aye.
Councilmember Landau?
Aye.
Councilmember Losada?
Aye.
Councilmember Young?
Aye.
Councilmember Brooks?
Aye.
Councilmember Harity?
Aye.
Councilmember O'Rourke?
Aye.
Councilmember Driscoll?
Aye.
Councilmember O'Neill?
Aye.
Councilmember Squilla?
Aye.
Councilmember Bass?
Aye.
Councilmember Ahmed?
Aye.
And Council President Johnson?
Aye, the ayes are 16, the nays are 0. Majority of all members having voted in the affirmative, the bill passes. The chair recognizes Councilmember Thomas. Would you like to be voted aye on all bills and resolutions?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Council President.
Chair recognizes Councilman Dr. Nina Mai. Would you like to be voted aye on all bills and resolutions recently passed?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much. Good work, members. Will the clerk please read any additional resolutions on today's calendar?
A privileged resolution recognizing January as Cervical Cancer Awareness Month and honoring Angela the Survivor Diva Reese for her outstanding leadership with the Pennsylvania National Cervical Cancer Coalition, Northwest Philadelphia chapter, and her dedication to cervical cancer awareness and survivor advocacy, introduced by Councilmember Phillips.
The chair recognizes Councilmember Phillips for a motion on the resolution.
Thank you, Council President. I move for the adoption of the resolution.
It has been moved and properly seconded that the resolution be was there a second?
Yes.
Okay. It has been moved and properly seconded that the resolution be adopted. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted. Would the chief clerk please read the title of the next resolution?
A privileged resolution authorizing the Committee on Law and Government to hold a hearing on the process to resolve a tangled title in the City of Philadelphia, introduced by Councilmember Gilmore Richardson.
The chair recognizes Majority Leader Councilmember Catherine Gilmore Richardson for a motion on the resolution.
Thank you, Council President. I move the adoption of the resolution.
It has been moved and properly seconded that the resolution be adopted. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted. Would the chief clerk please read the title of the next resolution?
A privileged resolution honoring the African American Children's Book Project on the occasion of its 34th annual African American Children's Book Fair, introduced by Councilmember Gilmore Richardson.
Chair recognizes Councilmember Majority Leader Catherine Gilmore Richardson for a motion on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the adoption of the resolution.
It has been moved and properly seconded that the resolution be adopted. All those in favor will signify by saying aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted. Would the chief clerk please read the title of the next resolution?
A A privileged resolution honoring and congratulating Irv Randolph for his retirement after 31 years of distinguished service to the Philadelphia Tribune and for his lasting contributions to journalism in the city of Philadelphia, introduced by Councilmember Gilmore Richardson on behalf of Council President Johnson.
Chair recognizes Councilmember Majority Leader Catherine Gilmore Richardson for a motion on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. President. On your behalf, I move the adoption of the resolution.
It has been moved and properly seconded that the resolution be adopted. All those in favor will signify by saying aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted. Would the Chief Clerk please read the title of the next resolution?
A privileged resolution authorizing the Committee on Commerce and Economic Development to hold hearings to assess the City of Philadelphia's workforce development efforts and existing barriers to employment, and to evaluate job creation and workforce development as strategies to eliminate poverty for Philadelphians, introduced by Councilmember Gilmore Richardson on behalf of Council President Johnson.
The Chair recognizes Councilmember Majority Leader Catherine Gilmore Richardson for a motion on the resolution.
Thank you, Council President. On your behalf, I move the adoption of the resolution.
It has been moved and properly seconded that the resolution be adopted. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted. Would the Chief Clerk please read the title of the next resolution?
A privileged resolution recognizing January 28, 2026 as National Data Privacy Day in the City of Philadelphia, introduced by Councilmember Landau.
Chair recognizes Councilman Rue Landau for a motion on the resolution.
Thank you, Council President. I move for the adoption of the resolution.
It has been moved and properly seconded that the resolution be adopted. All those in favor will signify by saying aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted. Chief Clerk, please read the title of the next resolution.
A privileged resolution recognizing January 22nd as the anniversary of the Supreme Court's landmark decision in Roe v. Wade, introduced by Councilmember Brooks.
Chair recognizes Minority Leader Councilmember Kendra Brooks for a motion on the resolution.
Thank you, Council President. I move for a motion to adopt the resolution.
It has been moved and properly seconded that the resolution be adopted. All those in favor will signify by saying aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted. Would the Chief Clerk please read the title of the next resolution?
A privileged resolution honoring Father Joseph J. Kelly by renaming the 2400 block of, this was,
South 17th Street.
it's renaming, so it's not privileged. It was in the wrong file. I apologize.
Sorry.
It's not privileged.
Will be heard next week.
Yes. A privileged resolution honoring and recognizing Austin J. McGreal, Esquire, for his over 40 years of legal service and dedication to the City of Philadelphia through his tenure as General Counsel of the City of Philadelphia Municipal Authority, introduced by Councilmember Bass.
Chair recognizes Majority Deputy Whip Councilmember Cindy Bass for a motion on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the adoption of the resolution.
Second. It has been moved and properly seconded that the resolution be adopted. All those in favor will signify by saying aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted. Will the Chief Clerk please read the title of the next resolution?
A privileged resolution honoring Pushing Progress Philly, P3, and its outstanding leadership and staff for their unwavering commitment to youth gun violence prevention, strengthening families, and building safer, healthier communities in the City of Philadelphia, introduced by Councilmember Bass on behalf of Council President Johnson.
The Chair recognizes Majority Deputy Whip Councilmember Cindy Bass for a motion on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. President. On your behalf, I move for the adoption of the resolution.
It has been moved and properly seconded that the resolution be adopted. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted. Will the Chief Clerk please read the title of the next resolution?
A privileged resolution honoring and commending Endangered Kind, its founder and executive director, John Solomon, and its leadership team, Nakeem Higgins, Jaleel Martin, Gary Hill, and Eric Knight Lane, for their commitment to fighting youth gun violence and their profound grassroots leadership, uplifting vulnerable young men, families, and communities throughout the City of Philadelphia, introduced by Councilmember Bass on behalf of Council President Johnson.
Chair recognizes Councilmember Deputy Whip of the Majority Party, Councilmember Cindy Bass, for a motion on the resolution.
It's a lot of titles. Thank you, Mr. President. On your behalf, I move for the adoption of the resolution.
It has been moved and properly seconded that the resolution be adopted. All those in favor will signify by saying aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted. Would the Chief Clerk please read the title of the next resolution?
A privileged resolution authorizing the Committee of Public Health and Human Services to hold hearings examining the current state of Philadelphia's reproductive health care system, the current federal landscape affecting reproductive policy, and the city's response to protect reproductive freedom, introduced by Councilmember Ahmed.
The chair recognizes Councilmember Dr. Anina Ahmed for a motion on the resolution.
Thank you, Council President. I move for the adoption of the resolution.
It has been moved and properly seconded that the resolution be adopted. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed? The ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted. Would the chief clerk please read the title of the next resolution?
Was there a nay from anyone?
2 nays on the record. Councilmember Kendra Brooks, Councilmember Nicholas O'Rourke. Will the chief clerk please read the title of the next resolution?
A privileged resolution recognizing January 2026 as Human Trafficking Prevention Month in the City of Philadelphia, introduced by Councilmember Ahmed.
The chair recognizes Councilmember Dr. Nina Ahmed for a motion on the resolution.
Council President, I move for the adoption of the resolution.
It has been moved and properly seconded that the resolution be adopted. All those in favor will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted. Will the chief clerk please read the title of the next resolution?
There are no further resolutions in my possession, Council President.
That completes our calendar for today. Are there any speeches on behalf of the minority? The chair recognizes Councilmember Kendra Brooks.
Good afternoon, colleagues, and everyone here today, and to those watching. I hope you all had a restorative holidays, and I hope that everyone is starting off the new year surrounded by those that give them joy. I spent much of my holiday with my family, volunteering in my community, and grounding myself in the work ahead. I'm returning with clarity of focus. This is a year of action, and that's the energy I want to bring into council for 2026. I want to say thank you to Bishop Stephen Adringer of the Greater St. Matthew's Baptist Church for welcoming us back with purpose and clarity. As I talk to my constituents throughout Philadelphia, I know people are demanding action. They want to see results. They want to know what elected officials are doing to improve their lives. As my fellow Working Families Party council member and Minority Whip Nicholas O'Rourke reminds us, they want a government that they can see, touch, and feel. Our first council session is coming on the anniversary of the landmark Supreme Court case Roe v. Wade. The illegitimate Supreme Court's decision to overturn it put all women's lives at risk. Today, I offer a resolution celebrating the anniversary of Roe v. Wade and honoring the providers and advocates who work every day to make sure people have access to the care they need. I am again grateful to all of the reproductive health care task force members who spoke during today's session, renewing their call for the city to restore city funding for reproductive health care. And I don't just mean abortions, but life-saving care like pap smears, ultrasounds, and STI prevention. This morning, Planned Parenthood dropped off thousands of signatures calling on this council and the mayor to restore funding in last year's budget. This didn't happen because City Council approved it. It happened because people took action. This funding will be one of my top priorities this year. That should be the focus of today's Roe v. Wade anniversary, and about what we can do this year in City Council to take action. Nothing else. And it's unfortunate that politics were dragged into this. I'm not here in council for political foolishness. People don't care about who you like or don't like. They care about results. For months, the Reproductive Health Care Task Force have been calling for hearings on the threats of patients, providers, and practitioners that they are facing now during this Trump administration. The hearing did not happen, but that didn't stop the people from organizing. That's why thousands signed Planned Parenthood petition. I'm not waiting anymore either, and I will not allow others to play in the face of this important work. My office will be holding a people's hearing on what this city should be doing in the face of Trump's attack on public health, and specifically reproductive health care during March, during Women's History Month. And I will be doing it outside of City Hall because people demand action, and I'm not waiting. Every council member is invited to attend. The Reproductive Health Task Force called for this hearing in September and still has not been granted. My resolution calling for a hearing was in support of their demands, and we're moving forward. Whether it's on this issue or ICE or any other attacks from the Trump administration has leveled on Philadelphia. This body needs to know that the people aren't waiting for us. And I saw this in a half a dozen ICE out trainings my office has led since the summer in neighborhoods across the city. We've organized to kick ICE out of Philadelphia, and it drew thousands interested in protecting their neighborhoods. That wasn't because anyone in this building approved it. It happened because our constituents got tired of waiting for the city to do something, so we took action. With all that said, I want to end today's remarks with a little bit of joy. Not only will I take action this year, but I will do it joyfully. And thank you to all the council members who participated in the EMATIC Challenge. And for those who don't know, the EMATIC Challenge is a chance to come together for a moment of joy and to celebrate a dance unique to Philly's cultural heritage. And I want to shout out Motivate You 215 and Amir Barber and Ephraim Rivers for bringing that joy back. And we should encourage folks to check out their social media channels if you want to know more information and to enjoy it. And I want to thank you, and I look forward to a very productive year of action. Thank you so much, Council President.
Thank you very much. Chair recognizes Councilman Nicholas O'Rourke.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Madam Minority Leader, for your remarks and the points that you made. All that the President of this country is currently doing and has been doing, it's enough to make your head spin. Just to count the roll: invasions in Venezuela, bombings in Nigeria on Christmas Day, threats to Greenland, deep denouncements from critical partners like our neighbors up in Canada who are talking strong up in Davos. The wheels seem to be coming off abroad, but not just there, even here at home. The threat of a presidential paramilitary has come into full view. We already knew it was coming. It's coming clearer now. The horror of ISIS concentrated violence in Minneapolis, of course, has generally been dispersed across the land, and Philly's right in the fray as well. Parody Law, I'm gonna say that name again, Parody Law, which is a refugee from Cambodia who first found a home in Philadelphia, died here as well, in federal detention. Parody Law died here in federal detention. We speak his name into the record. We mourn his needless, cruel death by medical neglect. If I'm not mistaken, I think they've actually stopped funding to help those who are in need of medicine who are in ICE detention as well. So these are the sort of moral failures that we are witnessing under this administration. There's so much from federal politics to geopolitics that really is outside of this body's remit. So while we are cognizant of what's happening around us, we need to act where we can. And I'm honored to be able to serve a part of this body to focus on things at the local level. And I'm excited to keep building on the work our office has been engaged in to measurably and materially improve the lives of working people every day so we can all live better. That's what we want to do. We want to live better. In that vein, and to that point about living better, in order to do that well, we need to ensure where we live is safe and it is healthy. Or putting it another way, that we have safe, healthy homes. There's good news, I should say, now that we've tied the bow on the home plan. I think many folks were clapping about that and are proud of that. Rife with measures to accelerate development. It has its place. We have got to right-size our landlord-tenant law to the future that we are building. And shout out to all the organized tenants who came out today, by the way, for those that are still here. There is good news all around it due to the amazing collaboration announced on Tuesday. But stories like the one at Burt Shalom, and another hat tip to the senior statesman, Councilman Jones, they're proof positive that what's been and what's currently on the books isn't getting the job done despite our best efforts. So I'm excited to bring back to the Housing Committee those other two bills, the right to safety, the right to repairs, and to the entire body so that we can realize, and that is make real safe, healthy homes here in the city of Philadelphia. This is also the year that the Affordable Philly Now initiative kicks into high gear. as we'll have our cost of living task force issuing its report of actionable policy recommendations that we intend on taking once that report comes out soon. And I'll be moving forward on creating a transit access fund, on a Philly rent refund, and a permanently public water department. So colleagues, I look forward to collaborating with you all to make Philly affordable. I'll just say one note as someone who is on the Public Health Committee. Coming out of organizing and community work, one of the key things I realized and learned is that you don't work solo. There are, on any issue that we may work on, dozens, if not hundreds of Philadelphians who have also been seeking solutions to improve our city, probably on the issue that you're working on. So you work concomitant with and in collaboration or in solidarity with those who've been doing that work. You know I do my best to heed the people's wisdom. So if we're exploring reproductive health, then I'd love to move forward with the hearing that all the major reproductive justice organizations in Philly actually came out to support and call for alongside my minority leader, Kendra Brooks. Doing it any other way, I feel like doesn't make that much sense to me. So that's the reason why, if you're curious about why I took the vote that I took today. That having been said, I do look forward to this session and all the great work that we will do in collaboration. I do think that the city will be that much better by what we put forward in the course of action. So keep the faith, Philly. Let's keep on praying, Philadelphians, because prayer works and it changes things, but not only does it change things, it changes us, that we might be inspired and compelled to change things. Thank you so much, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Speeches on behalf of the majority, Councilmember Dr. Anthony Phillips.
Thank you, Council President. I want to welcome my colleagues and the neighbors of Philadelphia as we officially open this new year in City Council. As we begin our work today, it's important that we reflect on what we've accomplished in the 9th District in 2025, because progress is not accidental. It is built through intentional investment, consistent presence, and a deep commitment to communities we serve. Even though our district offices were closed for the holiday break, real-life issues did not stop, and neither did I. I personally did not take time off from work or showing up from our neighbors. I was still out in neighborhoods, walking the streets, checking in with neighbors, and responding to issues in real time. Our 9th District neighbors deserve to know that their council member does not disappear when the calendar says it's a holiday, even though it was important for me to take time with my family, and I did do that just a little. We also continue to confront the reality of homelessness in our communities. I participated in a town hall hosted by the mayor's office focused on addressing homelessness with urgency and compassion and coordination. As part of that effort, the mayor has directed her city agencies and asked our neighbors to establish a temporary location for a shelter. These are not easy conversations or decisions, but they are necessary. So we are serious about changing the homeless conversation in the city of Philadelphia. We need to have these conversations. Our approach was simple: to stay present, stay accountable, and stay responsive. And because of that mindset, we were able to deliver real, tangible results for the 9th District. Our work was also rooted in compassion and responsiveness. When tragedy struck, including that moment of Kata Scott, we responded as much as we could to show up for that family and our community. Because we stayed engaged and listened to our communities, we were able to create the Parent Engagement Task Force, ensuring that policies impacting our youth receive focused leadership and sustained attention. We opened our Fifth Street office to better serve neighbors in Alny, East Oak Lane, Fern Rock, Logan, Melrose Park Gardens, and Lower Northeast. Because we believe community pride and connection matter, we celebrated culture and togetherness. The return of the Ogon's Night Market in West Oak Lane brought food trucks, live music, and pride back to our community. Wadsworth Day in Mount Airy was once again important to our neighbors, and we did it successfully. Because honoring legacy matters, we celebrated the service of Congressman Dwight Evans, a legend in the city. In recognition of his impact, the West Oak Lane Library was renamed in his honor. And back in April, we cut the ribbon on a newly renovated Longcrest Library that was supported by Mayor Parker when she was a council member. the library is back and better than ever. Because accountability matters, we continue to address quality of life issues that affect neighbors every single day, working with our district attorney to address illegal dumping and sending clear message that neglect of our neighbors will not be tolerated. And while we celebrated progress, we also laid important groundwork for the policy work ahead. In 2025, we introduced council legislation that reflects the everyday concerns we hear from our neighbors. During this new session, we look forward to moving these measures towards final passage. We are committed to continuing legislation that brings accountability, stability, and safety to our communities. We recently introduced the non-resident landlord accountability ordinance to ensure that every property owner in Philadelphia, especially those who do not live at their rental properties, remain reachable, responsible, and accountable. Since 2020, L&I has recorded over 62,000 housing code violations, many associated with unreachable non-resident landlords. This legislation helps stabilize neighborhoods, protect tenants, and strengthen our enforcement tools. We look forward to advancing the bill through council and toward final passage. We also introduced tobacco retailer education and compliance bill to strengthen public health and neighborhood safety. This legislation addresses illegal tobacco sales, unlicensed retailing, and sales to minors. It requires mandatory education and compliance training for businesses cited with these nuisance violations with the goal of reducing repeat offenses, educating retailers, and protecting youth and improving corridor safety. Finally, today we recognize January as Cervical Cancer Awareness Month. I want to be honest in saying that this is something many people do not know much about, including myself. And that is exactly why moments like this matter. These are serious health issues affecting women and families in our communities that too often go unnoticed and misunderstood. Cervical cancer is one of them. And when we do not talk about the issues, when we do not learn about them, we do not create spaces for awareness, and people suffer in silence. That is why I'm especially honored to be joined by Angela Reese today, known as Survivor Diva. Angela is a cervical cancer survivor who turned her personal journey into a mission to help other women prioritize their health. She now serves as the leader of the National Cervical Cancer Coalition's Northwest Philadelphia chapter, where she works to raise awareness in communities that are too often overlooked. So we're thankful for Ms. Angela. So today we're not just recognizing a month on the calendar, we're recognizing the importance of learning about issues that affect our neighbors. I thank Angela Reese for her leadership, her courage, and commitment to ensuring that more women in Philadelphia are seen, heard, and supported. So as we enter the 2026 season, I encourage all of us to carry forward the momentum of 2025 with urgency, accountability, and collaboration. The people of Philadelphia are watching us, and they're counting on us. The 9th District is ready to get back to work, and we're all working together to serve our neighbors. Thank you so much, Council President.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Councilmember Cindy Bass.
I'm sorry, Mr. President, thank you. I didn't have any comment.
Chair recognizes Councilman Rue Landau.
Thank you, Council President, and welcome back, everyone. Today I introduced a resolution recognizing next Wednesday, January 28th, as National Data Privacy Day in Philadelphia. This day is part of a global effort to encourage individuals and organizations to respect privacy and safeguard data. How information is used, stored, and shared is incredibly relevant for everyone, but especially for our residents who face discrimination, especially those who exist in marginalized communities. With the rise of AI, digital services, and new technologies, once seemingly unprecedented attacks on data privacy are the new normal, especially for our immigrant residents during this Trump administration. Whether that be data breaches, misuse of personal information, or third-party access, this is an issue every community should be aware of. I'd like to also once again thank my council colleagues for taking the final step to move the year one home budget forward. Thanks to this investment, more than 200,000 families can now know that help is on the way. City Council adopting almost all of the amendments put forth by myself and Councilmember Chair of the Housing Committee, Gaudier, is especially impactful and could not have been done without the help of the Housing Coalition, who advocated for these incredible changes. This final budget is proof that we can all find a seat at the table and still we can benefit all Philadelphians. Thanks to everyone here, City Hall has proven that we can go to work for the people we serve. Once again, thank you.
Chair recognizes Councilman Jeffrey J. Young.
Thank you, Mr. President. First and foremost, I want to thank Self Inc. and Dr. Shalana Dash today for coming to City Hall. The work they do to change lives and uplift those who are most vulnerable in our city is a thankless job. As you heard from one of the participants today, who found his way to the 2nd District at Otley House and got his life together. We need to continually to invest in those who are the most vulnerable in our city. As you see, when we make those investments, we really can improve lives. And you know, we're going to ensure that we invest in those who are unhoused in our city to make sure that our city you know, can put its best foot forward. And so I want to welcome back, I say Happy New Year's to my colleagues, to the neighbors, to the residents in the city of Philadelphia. I want to let you all know that we will be rescheduling our Martin Luther King Jr. Day Teen Health and Resource Fair, excuse me. We had to reschedule it because of the weather, but we are working with all of our partners to reschedule that, so look forward to a new date. But I'm happy to share that the holidays in the 5th District were merry and bright, and we look forward to continuing that momentum in 2026. We close out the year with a kids pop-up party with Early College Charter School and Shavu Consulting at 8th and Diamond Playground. Families joined us for a day of gifts, games, and holiday cheer. A reminder of what this job really is about. It's about children, it's about families, it's about our future. But today, as we gather here in City Council, that future feels deeply uncertain for many families. Particularly when it comes to the School District of Philadelphia, and specifically in the 5th Council District, where today the school district released a plan to close schools and co-locate schools in our city, several of which will directly and profoundly impact the students and family in the 5th Council District. And I want to be clear, this is not just about buildings, it's about stability, it's about equity. This is about whether we are serious about educating our children, because education really is equity. Philadelphia has a literacy crisis. About 70% of our 4th graders are not reading on a proficient grade level. That means 7 out of 10 children are already starting behind before middle school, before high school, before they enter the workforce. And in the face of this crisis, what is the answer? Is it to close schools? Is it to uproot students? Is it to scatter educators? Is it to destabilize communities that are already carrying more than their fair share of hardship? This is not certainly how you solve a literacy crisis. For me, literacy is not just about education. It is the front line in the fight against poverty. It is a public safety issue. It's a workforce issue. It's an economic justice issue. If a child cannot read, everything else we talk about in these chambers becomes much harder. And you know, this is where the issue of accountability becomes unavoidable. In just a few months, this body will be asked to approve a city budget that includes approximately $5 billion to the School District of Philadelphia. That is a massive investment of taxpayer dollars, and it reflects how deeply this city believes in public education. But as I say over and over again, our school district budget is larger than the size of the city of Boston. We have one of the largest municipal budgets in the country just for our school district. But with that level of investment must come a matching level of transparency, responsibility, and accountability. So we cannot, on one hand, ask the people of Philadelphia to nearly invest $5 billion in our schools, and at the same time, make life-altering decisions for our children and neighborhoods without meaningful public oversight, which brings me to a deeper issue we must confront. The members of the school board are not elected by the people, yet they yield, enormous power over our children, our families, and our neighborhoods. And right now, the voters of the city of Philadelphia have no direct way to hold them accountable. So, how will these new catchment areas be drawn, right? Was that asked in the facilities planning process and surveys of communities? That is why today I propose a charter change that would give council a voice in the removal process of school board members. Those of us who directly represent the people, right? The school board does not represent the people. We do in this chamber, in this body. And it's not to politicize education. It is to democratize accountability. If you are entrusted with $5 billion in public funds, if you're closing schools during a literacy crisis, then you should be held directly accountable to the people you serve. The Philadelphia School District, which is insulated from voters, should not have unchecked power over our children's future. I want to be clear, I'm not opposed to change. I'm opposed to change without transparency, change without a community voice, and change without accountability. This moment really demands our leadership. It demands we stand up for our neighborhoods, of which $0 will be invested in Black and brown communities in the 5th District in the next 10 years, right? 0 will be getting major investments in the next 10 years from the School District of Philadelphia. 0 neighborhood schools, right? We have some nice schools like Carver. They deserve that investment, right? Gideon deserves that investment. Blaine deserves that investment, right? These schools deserve that investment. Our children deserve stability. And above all, they deserve leaders who are willing to fight. So I'm willing to stand up and fight. I'm willing to use our legislative authority to be the voice of the people, because that's why we are here. I look forward to the discussions with the School District of Philadelphia. I look forward to the discussions with community about how we shape the future of our city. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Member Young. She recognizes Councilman Dr. Nina Ahmad.
Thank you, Council President. Today was a productive session. I am very pleased to highlight some of our accomplishments today because they connect to what community has been dealing with. First, Council adopted my resolution recognizing January 2026 as Human Trafficking Prevention Month in the city of Philadelphia. Human trafficking is real. It's not rare, and it's not always obvious. A lot of time it's hidden in plain sight, and traffickers depend on that. I want to especially thank the Salvation Army for commemorating that and giving us some support in this on our tables, and as well as all the providers who provide service for survivors. So part of what we're doing here is basic but necessary, making sure more people know the warning signs, know where to report concerns, and know what resources exist for survivors. I also want to name something the resolution speaks to directly. Philadelphia is going to host major events that bring big crowds into the city. That's a point of pride, but we also must be honest that large events can come with increased risk of trafficking. That means prevention can't be an afterthought. That's why I'm pleased to share that the request for proposal for the $500,000 investment for a citywide trafficking awareness and prevention campaign has officially been posted. Second, the council passed bill number 250990. This bill adds human trafficking victim status as a protected category under Philadelphia's Fair Practices Ordinance, specifically in employment. This bill is necessary, as you heard from testimony of many of our witnesses, because raising awareness of human trafficking is just the first step. We need to do more to protect the victims of human trafficking. And the idea is straightforward. No one should lose a job opportunity or be blocked from work because they survived trafficking. Work is how people stabilize. Work is how people rebuild. This is one concrete way we can do to remove obstacles as survivors build their lives. I also want to thank my colleagues for voting on the resolution to have an expansive reproductive health hearing in the Public Health Committee. This is to make sure we are looking at all the issues that impact reproductive health across the board, including looking at issues that the federal government has created by cutting off funding. I was happy to have support from Planned Parenthood and some other providers who have written to me directly, so we are very excited about organizing that hearing as soon as possible. And fourth, I join my colleagues in celebrating the passage of the home plan. And I want to highlight one piece of it that I pushed for, and I'm glad to see it was included. The At-Risk Families Program, which provides resources to families and children identified by the Department of Human Services at risk. Because we all know the pattern. A family's housing falls apart, and before you know it, it's not just a housing problem. It becomes a child welfare problem, a school problem, a health problem. This program is meant to support families and youth identified by DHS at risk, including families at immediate risk of child removal due to housing instability, families with dependency cases delayed because of housing can't be secured, and youth aging out of foster care without stable housing. Finally, I introduced a Home Rule Charter change to establish a Community Child Welfare Commission. This is an advisory body, and it's meant to create consistent, transparent, community-grounded feedback about how child welfare system is working and how it's not. The proposal outlines a 15-member commission, including impacted community members with lived experience, advocates and experts, and non-voting ex officio partners from city agencies. It will hold quarterly public meetings and community hearings, publish an annual State of Child Welfare in Philadelphia report, and make annual recommendations to council and city agency. That's why I wanted to lift up today. Prevention work that's real, protections that remove barriers for survivors, housing stability that keeps families from spiraling, and a charter proposal that brings community into the conversation in a structured way. Thank you, Council President. I yield back.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Councilman Jim Harity.
Thank you, Council President. I will be quick. There will be a presentation immediately following in the caucus room. Pizza will be provided. SAFR, Scientifically Advanced Force Reduction Helmets, cover technology. This organization is changing how we think about the safety in the game. Through the We Make Philadelphia SAFAR, that their initials SFAR initiative, its sponsors has provided protective helmet covers to more than 1,500 Philadelphia high school athletes at no cost. That means safety isn't dependent on zip codes, school budgets, or family income. Please stop by, learn some more about the people protecting our kids as they're playing, our student athletes, and get a slice of pizza. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Harity. The chair recognizes Councilman Isaiah Thomas for a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Council President. You caught me slipping, but I move that council stands adjourned until Thursday, January 29, 2026 at 10 a.m.
It has been moved and properly seconded that City Council stands adjourned until Thursday, January the 29th at 10 a.m. All in favor will signify by saying aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it, and the motion carries. Thank you all very much.